That'd probably help, wouldn't it? Okay, let's put on notification. We are going to leave. Let's do post. Nested thread. Tierlisting time. Why? Why would it fucking do that? Alright. Alright, we're gonna put on the Hearthstone game soundtrack. Okay, what have we got? Don't need that. Don't need VC. I don't even think I need Discord open. I do need my mod view. I do need to mute it before it freaks out. This might be the most things I've had open on my computer while I'm streaming in a while. Is my tracking broken? No, it seems fine. It just takes a while for it to catch up in mod view. This is a very old overlay. Let me lock it and move it down just a tad. So. I need to remake this eventually. But for now it'll do. It's very basic, but it does the job. Right. And we want this. Let's see. That's pretty. Let me turn it down just a little bit for the mixer. Okay. Yeah, that looks about right. As long as the background music is like sub 45 decibels, it's usually fine. Right. Actually, I should probably get on my let me also open up Battle. Yeah, I'll open up Hearthstone. Just actually no, I won't. I won't bother. So we got. So it finishes at 11:30 and it's 8 now. Assuming no, they don't come. Okay, I'm just gonna not do this. I was gonna use it to like show my stats, but at some point I'll do that another time. Right. So. We're doing a tier list of all the heroes in Battlegrounds. There are 110, which is a fucking lot. I have a spreadsheet over here, which well, I've got a notepad document that I'm going to be using to has like cliff notes for when I'm talking about each one. Oh shit, I just nuked it. I need this on top. There you go. Power tools, amazing. So we're going to be rating them on 10 different systems. I will probably make a fuller video of this rather than this will just be like a preliminary sort of talk about it all, and then I'll do a longer video or something. Sorry, I just finished dinner, so I'm not. I'll just dismiss that for now. But yeah, so we're going to go with how good they are for noobs, how good they are in a vacuum. So we're talking about just how good they are in general. How versatile they are, in which tribes. So if you can play them with more than one tribe, then that's obviously higher points. Their early versus mid versus late game potential. So some heroes tend to fall off late game, which means, you know, obviously like they won't be that good. Good value for costs, like some hero powers are passives, but even then that doesn't mean that they're immune to getting a low rank on this. I'm guessing what I'll do is I'll balance the cost of the hero power versus how good I think it is. Do they benefit a tribe? So stuff like Death Speaker Blackthorn, who is, you could easily say Death Speaker Blackthorn is exclusive to Quillboars, even though it really isn't. Fungal Monster Flurgle and Any Stormcoil are also on this, because obviously they are specifically made for certain tribes. Risk reward potential, like some of them have hero powers that aren't necessarily risky as such, but like can represent, if improperly used, like, or if you go into it not knowing what you're doing, then yeah. Consistently, like how good are they? Like how consistently good are they as a hero? How good is their buddy? This is something I'll have to open another tab for. Hold on, let me play Hearthstone. Play Hearthstone Battlegrounds. I'm wondering if I can get their buddies Now, not all minions have buddies, so any that don't just have straight up 0 for this. All minions? That's awkward. What if I just type buddy? Would that work? No. It's not actually a minion type. Oh, filter. Keyword? Buddy, there you go. Nope. Still incorrect. Okay. Awesome. Battlegrounds, buddies. Oh yeah, this is the old one, isn't it? Yeah, so they don't all have buddies, but for those that do, I'll give them a ranking based on how good they are. Okay, this website is fucked. There's a new version of the website anyway, which might have it. Oh, there you go. That's much better. So yeah, some of the heroes do not have buddies, so I might come up with some ideas of what would make their buddy good. And then finally, there'll be a personal ranking based on my own personal opinion of what I think of each card. Let me drag this over to here. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Right, I think we're ready. I'm also using my 2D model because I don't often do things that allow me to use this, so it's nice that I can do this. Alright. Alright. So we're starting with AFK. AFK is a hero that is oh, what's this? Hold on. Okay, well I'm live now, so I will get back to you later. Right. Okay. So yeah, we're starting with AFK. So AFK is, as the name suggests, AFK for the first 2 turns of the game. I'm going to move my camera as well, see if I can get tracking to be a bit better. And then after she's been AFK for 2 turns, you get 2 tavern 3 minions. Noob friendly? Wouldn't really say so. I think that skipping your first 2 turns, like so first 2 turns you're looking at somebody, most of the time, somebody's going to have bought a tavern 1 minion then taverned. So you're only going to be taking 4 damage maximum. If it's a hero that already has a minion, or like you get people who do 2 minions, then it'll be 3 or 4 damage, 4 or 5 damage instead. Because obviously you'll be taking 2 turns worth of damage and then you get 2 tavern 3 minions. AFK is the reason I think AFK is not particularly good for noobs is, or like newer players anyway, is that you've got to know sort of what tavern 3 minions you're looking for and what the value of those tavern 3 minions are. And for somebody who's relatively new to the game, that might be a bit difficult. Power level is, I would say, deceptively low, actually, now I think about it. Realistically, like getting 2 tavern 3 minions on turn 3 sounds good because you're basically mana cheating and you can determine what you're gonna what tribe you're gonna play from there. But at the same time, you could get 2 absolutely garbage minions, and there are more bad minions than there are good ones on tavern 3 at the moment. I think honestly, I think maybe actually let's see. It's entirely possible. I think tavern 3 is a breaking point for a lot of minions. Because there's some really good stuff. So you get 2 decent mechs, you get Bristling Buffoon. Bird Buddy, I disagree with. This is okay. This is relatively fine. Welcome in, Cyber. How's it going? Kruna is one of the late game strat cards for Naga. I think Deflectobot has actually fallen a long way, honestly. Diamok Forager is questionable up and down versus base skill, which is on 4. I've never seen anyone use this card except to trigger Caligos. At the end of your turn, give your teammates minions +1 attack. You just noticed that I'm using my model. My 2D model. I don't get to do it very often because usually I'm playing a game that... Or a light. Usually I don't want the light on. And I'll just use my Vito model. So, you know. Electric Synthesizer is really good for dragons. This is probably the best argument for Tavern 3 being good. Like, if you pick up, like, even one of these from AFK, then you can basically... You build around demons after that. The Fellbloods, as a slimes are good. This can work if you get to Tavern 2 and then you've got Defiant Shipwright, or you're going for it. This falls off quite quickly. I hate this card. I really don't like it because it's an amalgam. It means that anything that could give you a minion of a specific type can also give you this, and it dampens the pool down completely, which I'm not a fan of. Okay, maybe it's not as bad as I initially thought. It's a bit harder because they took out Silithid Spawner, which I think is really good for beasts. But at the same time, it's kind of... What's it called? Versatility. AFK can play any tribe. There's no reason. You're not locked into anything. The only... Actually, no. I think I'd say versatility is low for AFK. Because when it gets right down to it, you have to basically play the tribe of the 2 minions you get on Tavern 3, which... from the hero power, which isn't brilliant. So maybe it's lower than I think. Value, again, not brilliant, because like you can get shackled with crap Tavern 3 minions. Tribe, absolutely none. There are no restrictions whatsoever, but again, it is dependent on what you 2 minions you generate. Risk reward. Honestly, I think for newer players, the risk reward for it is quite bad because you're losing 2 whole turns to get the hero power. And I guess for a lot of newer players that could be more difficult. Like for higher level players, I could imagine it would be relatively fine. But at the same time, I don't think AFK is a hero for newbies. Consistency, I mean, you're always going to get Tavern 3. Consistency is low, though, because there's a big pool of minions on Tavern 3, and so I don't think it's that brilliant. The buddy is Snack Vendor. At the end of your turn, give your tier 3 minions +1/+2. That is not a good buddy. It should be Tavern 3 or lower, in my opinion. Hey, son, how you doing? Because obviously, while those 2 Tavern 3 minions you've got are good, you're going to be losing a lot of battles in between, and you're going to be stuck with a lot of sub-tier 3 minions. My personal opinion is AFK is a C-tier hero. I don't think it's very good. I think it's fine, and maybe it's like high skill ceiling hero, but I just think there's a lot going against it in terms of basically every possible metric you can measure a hero by. Right. Alakir the Windlord. So his hero power is at the start of combat, give your leftmost minion Divine Shield, Wind Fury, and Taunt. So basically it turns your minion into Alakir the Windlord. Use this with small death rattle minions, I suppose, so you get the double attack and it guarantees it dies, which is arguably just like a worse version of Illidan Stormrage. Obviously, there's also the chance that it can take something with it when it dies. I'd say it's a reasonably strong hero power. Newbie friendly, not the highest, but I'd say it's pretty good. Simply for the fact of the giving something Divine Shield and Wind Fury, like just. There's fucking ads on my game soundtrack. Rip. I'll just put this back over here so I can at least cancel out the ads. I should have downloaded this instead. Right. Where was I? yeah, if we ignore the taunt that it gives it, I'd say that it's probably one of the better. Oh, great. Is my stream lagging? Anyone in chat is stream lagging, or is that just my mod view? Oh, it's back. Okay, it's fine. I bet you good money it's because that fucking ad that played. Like, ads... Oh, no, this is bad. Come on. Okay, I don't think I can play this version as a soundtrack then. Let me just, I'll just pull up my version of it. Yeah, that's kind of fucked. I'm not a fan of that. I think it was when that ad, it started when that ad played. Game soundtracks. So I have the entire Hearthstone game soundtrack on here. So I can just play that instead. Yeah, I'm not losing any more frames. That's bullshit, man. Alright, that one shouldn't cause any problems because it's locally stored. Right, anyway. Ignoring the taunt that it gives to the minions, so just pretending it only gives Divine Shield and Wind Fury, means like you can put it on a small minion to get a Death Rattle, or you can put it on a big minion to get to get basically 2 free kills, broadly speaking. In a vacuum, I'd say it's a pretty good hero, realistically speaking. It's generally the Wind Fury is what really sells it. I don't really think anything else about it matters. The Divine Shield is pretty cool, I suppose. If they got a big taunt that you needed to hit twice to get through something, then yeah, that can help. Versus Island Witch Tribes, again, completely unlimited. Unlike AFK though, it is actually completely unlimited. Because you're not relying on anything else to really determine what tribe you are or are not playing for that round. Um, good value. I mean, it's a passive, and it gives 3 different keywords to a card at the start of combat, which is pretty strong on its own, I'd say. They don't benefit. It doesn't benefit any tribes. Risk reward. Again, it's one of those. I think honestly, it's one of those things where it requires knowledge of what to give the keywords to. So I'd say it's somewhere between these two. And Alakir's buddy, I think it's just Death Rattle. Yeah, give a minion. I don't think much of the buddy, honestly. I think it's kind of bad. Because it has to die. So like maybe you put it first, and then it gets that. But even then, I think it's going to be like a high B, low A. Alexstrasza used to be a really trash hero because its hero power is once you get to Tavern 5, you can discover 2 dragons, and now it's once you get to Tavern 4, it unlocks and it's 1 mana discover a dragon. Now, when it was 5 mana discover 2 dragons, it would be here. Reason being, actually, I think it was actually get 2 dragons. I don't think it was even discover 2 dragons. I think it was just get 2 dragons. The problem is if the ones you got were Tavern 5s, like guaranteed Tavern 5 or 6s, fine. But you could get Tavern 1 dragons off it, and that's just garbage. Now, though, I'd say probably A. Like, if you want to be playing dragons, there's only 2 heroes you should really be using for it anyway, and that's Alexstrasza and Ysera. I don't know if I think I'll put Alexstrasza over Ysera now. Because once you get to Tavern... Let's say... Where do you want to be getting with dragons? Let's take this away. Minion type dragon. So for dragons... No, not mech. Dragons. So for dragons... I'd say 4 is probably better than 5. Because of Amber Guardian, Persistent Poet, and Prize Promo Drake. Obviously on 6 you've got Hape Spawn and Caligos, which are really strong. Oh, Dragonair. But yeah, like of the 2, I'd say sticking on Tavern 4 is usually pretty good for it. Like, because you're then paying 1 mana for the potential to get either of these three, which is really strong. And of course, everything below it: Synthesizer, Taragosa, Ralia, Twilight Emissary, and nothing from Tavern 1. Basically, I mean, you could play the you could take the Trinket where it annihilates Tavern 1 and 2, and I think I think you could get through it just fine, because Synthesizer does the same thing as Emissary. The only thing you'd be missing out on maybe is Blazing Skyfin if you were doing a Battlecry build. But I don't think that's a real build. I think the only build that exists for dragons right now is Taragosa, or maybe Mass Buff Kalagos. Honestly, Hoarding Hatespawn is one of my favourite cards on Tavern 6 anyway, just because of the ability to, like, that stealing 10/10 can change the course of a game. And Obsidian Ravager, honestly, I think it's crap. It deals its attack to the minion, and then the minion on the other side of it as well, which will usually kill 3 things, but like for a Tavern 7 minion, it drops off really quickly. Battlecry and start of combat give your other minions +2/+2. It's pretty strong. Once you triple it, it's giving them all 4/4s, which is really strong each at the start of every battle, which can be strong. I think Alexstrasza is an easy A. Like, you don't have a hero power for the first, like, 8 turns. But once you get that hero power, you can, like, assuming you're not in, like, the shittest position ever, you can really scale off that and climb you can rubber band very quickly using that. It's like finding polarizing beatboxer, basically. Ambassador Phelan. This is very similar to AFK, except you only skip 1 turn. You discover a tavern 2, 4, and 6 minion, and when you tavern to those taverns, you get those cards for free. I'm going to say this is actually... I'm going to say it's slightly better than AFK, but not by much. Like, because you're still in a situation where you've got to... I'm just going to ignore this. I'm just going to not do buddies. It's a pointless add-on, because some of them don't even have buddies anyway. But yeah, so while you get to discover 2, 4, and 6, you actually have to survive until Tavern 6 to get your big one. And, like, I mean, it's fine if the stars align and all 3 are the same tribe. Like, or they are neutrals, they are amalgam creatures where you can play all the, you can play them no matter what you build. But realistically speaking, I think that it's not really that good of a hero. So yeah, I'll put it in C, only slightly higher than AFK. Arana Starseeker. Now, her hero power used to be discover a minion, and then it increases by 1 each time you use it. And they changed it. No, wait, is that Arana? No, Arana used to be, what is it? After you spend 7 gold, the tavern has 7 minions permanently, which is really strong. Because, like, for stuff like literally it allows you to build whatever you want, because you're always going to find stuff you're looking for. Or it gives you a significantly higher chance to do so. But they changed it to after 14 friendly minions attack, the first minion you buy each turn is free. So what's the math on that exactly? So after 14 minions attack, so you buy 1 on turn 1, and then you usually tavern on turn 2, so that makes 2 attacks. You buy a second minion on tavern 2, so you get you got 3 minions, so it becomes 5. Then you can tavern, or you can, let's say worst case scenario, you stay on 2 for another turn. So that's 3. And then you tavern. So you're on tavern 3. Hold on, I'm not doing this right, am I at all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so buy minion equals 1 attack, tavern, 1 attack. So total 2. Turn 3, buy a minion. So you now have 3 minions, so that goes to 5. Tavern 4 will say you stay on there and buy another minion. So you saw something you like that's pretty good. So you currently have 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2 minions. Oh, so that's not 5. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ignore that. So you buy another minion. You have 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you tavern. So you still only have 3 minions, but you get 3 more attacks. So that's 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you should be able to complete this by, I'd say, turn 6 or turn 7, give or take. And then you get 1 free minion every turn. I think this is objectively worse than the old version of Arana. Like, I can see the benefit of getting 1 free minion every turn from what's in a tavern, but honestly, I don't think it's as anywhere near as strong as Arana used to be. Basing it on its own merit is really difficult, considering Arana used to be far better than this. Although you could say broken, because usually what you do with Arana beforehand was you'd basically skip turn 1 and 2 by just roll the tavern. Oh no, it was after 7 refreshes. It wasn't after you spent 7 gold, it was 7 refreshes. So turn 1 and 2, you just roll the tavern 7 times total. And then on turn 3, you'd have a full tavern every turn, which is really fucking strong. This is kind of weak comparatively, and I don't think I can rate it that highly. Because you're spending... I mean, this is... I think what I've outlined is optimal curve. So, like, by turn 6, you should have it completed. But even then, you... Like... I don't know. It depends on how you're playing specifically to achieve the thing. I'm going to put this at maybe the top of C. This is something I haven't played a lot of. Arana's one that I haven't played a lot of, so I should probably do that. But yeah, I think she's top of C or bottom of B. Actually, I'll put her at bottom of B. I feel like some people might get angry if I put her at top of C. Archer Villain Reform. S tier hero. For 1 mana, the first minion you kill in combat, every single turn, you get a non-golden copy of. So literally, for 1 gold, you're sending 1 gold into the future. That also might be a minion that can benefit you, like, big time. This is just a ridiculously... Like, this is one of the heroes. So there's 2 heroes in the game that if you're playing that tribe, like if you're playing dragons, for example, with this, usually other people will stay away from dragons. Like, it sort of goes the same way for any other tribe as well. But basically, because for 1 gold, you're giving them the first minion that dies in combat every turn. Now, if you play this against somebody who's playing Curator, then there's a chance you get their Poisonous Amalgam, which is obviously ridiculous. But at the same time, like, absolute worst case scenario, you're literally just getting your 1 gold back. So, this is an S tier easily. Bartender Tron. I think this might be the only hero in the absolute garbage tier. Bartender Tron has a hero power that is literally just your taverning costs 1 less. It's not even listed on here anymore because it's just gone. Bartender Tron Battlegrounds. Yeah, reduce the cost of upgrading tavern by 1. It doesn't do enough, in my opinion. Like, it's just reducing tavern cost by 1. There used to be a pirate that does the same thing. So whenever there's a minion that does the same thing as a hero power, even if it's a passive, I tend to avoid that hero at all costs. Because it makes them slightly worse by comparison. Like, realistically, you're going to be on turn 6 at tavern 6 at turn 10, maybe turn 12, depending on how the game's going. Usually I won't tavern to 6 because there just isn't enough in there for me to really be interested in it. But at the same time, getting there 1 gold faster every turn is really not that valuable. Like, literally, Bartender Tron is the same as Archvillain Reform, except Archvillain Reform potentially gives you a very useful minion on top of it. This is, I mean, even Alexstrasza, you could say Alexstrasza is in the same tier because it's cycling 1 gold. You're paying 1 gold to get a dragon, and if it's not a dragon you like, although that's highly unlikely because you're discovering from from a choice of 3, the odds of you finding one you don't like is pretty fucking low. Then, you know, like, you're still only cycling that 1 gold. But yeah, Bartendertron, not good, in my opinion. Really, really not good. Rakan has got 4 hero powers. Each one of them is a different element. One of them is deal 1 damage to a couple of minions. One is a couple of your minions summon a 1/1 when they die. One of them is give a minion. Oh shit! Let me find him. Okay, yeah. So give 4 random friendly minions summon a 1/1. Double your leftmost minion's attack. Give your rightmost minion +3 health and taunt, and deal 1 damage to 5 enemy minions. Honestly, I think they're all bad. Like, the thing is so give 4 random friendly minions, step rattle, summon a 1/1 is good early game. Like, especially when you need those like little slivers of damage just to push through for the to like not lose that round. But like, come the end of the game, summoning a 1/1 doesn't do anything. +3 health and taunt. The stat modifiers are probably the only good ones, and that's my stream lagging again. Can we recover, please? Why did you just go to 14,000 kilobits a second? I don't even have that. Okay, it's back. The stat changing ones are probably the better of the 4. The deal 1 damage is, there's a situation where this is good, and that's exclusively if there are mechs in the tavern, and you just want to pop some divine shields, or if you're playing against George. Otherwise, even then, double your leftmost minion's attack. I mean, I can see that being a Taragosa thing. Like, double Taragosa's attack is pretty good. Give your rightmost minion 3 health and taunt. I mean, there are plenty of ways to give a minion taunt. I personally don't think Rakan is that good, but I'd say it's not atrociously. Where is it? There it is. It's bottom of the sea. I might even put it in D. I feel like it's in D, because except in very specific circumstances of, like I said, Taragosa, or playing against Divine Shield heavies, like, you're never gonna, the 1 damage and the stat buffs really aren't that good, and the summon of 1/1 is really just extremely not very good. Okay, Captain Hoggar. Captain Hoggar is whenever you buy a pirate, get 1 gold, and it's unstable. Can we stop this shit? Okay, it looks like it's fine again. Yeah, so whenever you buy a pirate, get 1 gold. Honestly, I'd say it's probably here. No. Probably here. I'd say Hoggar's pretty good. Like, that 1 extra gold can go towards a tavern spell, or it can, like, you can roll the tavern again to maybe find another pirate. Like, obviously the thing is when it comes to pirates, only patches is S tier. There is nothing that beats patches, basically, because turn 0, when the game first starts, your hero power costs 3. And if there isn't a pirate in the tavern, you just discover 1. And then for each pirate you've got, it reduces its hero power. Each one you buy, it reduces the cost by 1 anyway. So, I mean, having a second pirate base... I mean, I'm not even saying that Hoggar is bad. I just think it's... I think that the gold requirement... The additional gold you get is pretty good. I can't remember if it had a previous hero power. I'm actually pretty sure that Hoggar used to be a minion in Battlegrounds, but I can't remember what it did. Captain Eudora. Every 5 turns, get a gold card. from your tavern or lower. So it's not even, it's not free. So for 5 turns you have to press your button. So it costs 1 mana, dig for treasure, and then once you've dug 5 times, you get a free golden minion, which goes to your hand. It's important that it goes to your hand because it means you get the triple bonus off it. So even if you get an absolutely garbage minion, at least you're still getting a tavern plus on it. So you're tavern cheating. Problem is it costs 5 mana to get a golden minion that may not line. Like, that's the thing is, it has to be very specifically successful to get a minion that, either a minion that lines up with it, and even if it doesn't, then a minion off the triple reward that lines up with your current play style. However, the fact that the triple reward goes to your hand is going to put it high in C, I think. Actually, let's put it here. I think that's probably, I don't know, is it around better than that? 1 free minion from turn 6 onwards, effectively, versus Captain Eudora. Pay 5 for a gold minion. Yeah, I think B is a good place for Eudora, actually. When I think about it. There are good reasons why getting a gold minion to your hand is not a tragedy. Captain Hook Tusk, if I remember rightly, this one is remove a minion from your board and get choose a minion from a tavern below it. Let me just double check. Yeah, remove a minion, discover one from a tier lower. This is okay as a hero power. I'm not a huge fan because it doesn't destroy. Although if it destroyed it would probably be broken. I don't think it's very good though. I think removing a minion, like, it's basically silence and destroy a minion in order to get one from a tavern below. Like, usually you're catering your tavern pretty hard, and to remove one without any benefit, like, you're getting a minion from a tavern below it, but at the same time, like, the odds of you getting something else that benefits your playstyle as well as whatever you removed for it is kind of weak. Kariel Roam. I hate this hero. She's one of the ones that's been on my list for a very long time for first placing with. And, like, the thing is the reason I hate her is because I always come close to winning with her. But very rarely do I actually win with her. So her hero power is give a couple of minions +1/+1, and then each time you tavern, you can either add 1 attack, add 1 health, or add to the number of minions she buffs. After you upgrade tavern, yeah, okay. So yeah, it's the thing is it's the 1/1 buff. It's very weak. Like, obviously the best case scenario is you want to have you want it to be buffing your entire board by +1/+1 for 1. Like, SAS 7/7 in stats for 1 mana, but at the same time that's still extremely weak. Like, even like early game, you can probably get away with a few things. Like, if you stick to just like a few minions build, then you can probably get away with it being like a bit weak. But at the same time, late game it just falls. It's one of those hero powers that falls off really, really fast, and just isn't really valid. Shenvala. Okay, so Shenvala is the first hero that I'm basing entirely on minions in the tavern. Now, a couple of formats ago, Shenvala was one of my favourite heroes in the Battlegrounds. Elementals were in a good place. On tavern 1 you had the sell 1 minion, the sell elemental, so it's a 2/2 that you then sell and you get another 2/2 token. And you had the 1/4 that gives a free refresh. On tavern 2 you had party elemental and the rock elemental, which gains 1 health each time you play an elemental. Also had taunt, important, because it doesn't anymore. Party elemental gives 1/1 to an elemental that you didn't summon. So you summon an elemental and it gives 1/1 to a different elemental you control. Tavern 3 you had the Tempest. Tavern 4 you had the Tavern. The Tavern Elemental, you play it gives you a random elemental to your hand. But the most important thing is you had Little Rag, Lieutenant Gar. You had some really fucking strong elementals, and now you kind of don't on higher taverns. So the hero power is actually after you play 3 elementals, it reduces the cost of taverning by 3, which is ridiculously strong because you've got a good couple of minions that like basically replace themselves. So this elemental, you play it, so it counts as 1. You sell it, you play the token it generates, you sell it. You know, you can play another one. Like you can just bounce a lot of them around and get a lot of stats off it. But the problem is they massively overhauled the state of elementals, and now the lineup like doesn't feel as good on Tavern 6. Really, the only real elemental you've got is Rock, and even then that's not really that strong. It can give you some stats, but you're still only buying 3 minions a turn, which this is just wank. This is I don't know why this card exists. This is just bad. They should put back in Lieutenant Gar. Lieutenant Gar was an 8/1, and every time you played an elemental, it gained 1 health for every elemental you controlled. Insane card. Like you could get up to some ridiculous stats as well. And then on Tavern 4, Tavern 5, you got this shit, this shit. This is only good in one scenario right now, and that says a trinket that gives a death rattle to 3 of your elementals to summon this when they die. This is not a good card, but it's anti-meta. So, like, if your opponent's playing a big taunt minion that doesn't have a divine shield, this will change its stats all the way down. This not permanent, so you're always just gonna have a 3/4. This is insane. This is an amazing elemental. Living Azurite is only good because of Tavern spells. This is good in duos, but not really in solos. Little Rag is one of the originals that made elementals really good, because it's like, so party elemental is, after you play an elemental, give a friendly other elemental other than it. It used to be 1/1, now it's 2/1. And Rag is, after you play an elemental, give a friendly minion stats equal to the elemental's tier. So obviously this gets stronger the stronger tavern you're on. But the thing is you don't really need to go past Tavern 4 because there's nothing else on here. Like, you could get this off the Tavern... there's a Greater Trinket where you get a Tavern 7 minion every single turn, and this is still a bad card, even when you're not paying gold for it. Like, literally, Tavern 4 is all you need, because you've got the Azurite, the Little Rag, and the Tavern Tempest, as well as you've already got your Fellbloods, which I don't use the Fellbloods as much in Elemental builds. I think they're more catered towards demons and elementals, because you got Inquisitive, no, what is it called? There's a Tavern 3 demon that eats a minion at the end of every turn, and Insatiable Urzel and Fellbat. Those make good use of the stat changes. Elementals don't as much. Then on Tavern 2, this is probably a fucking this is a hardcore lineup of Tavern 1 and 2s. Like, if you can't do something with a dedicated Tavern 1, Tavern 2 elemental setup, you just need to concede. Tavern 3 can basically be skipped for elementals. Tavern 4, this is all the 3 minions you need to be looking at, maybe 4. This also used to have lesser stats. This is kind of wildcardy. I personally don't ever use it. If I instead of this, I prefer the Wind Fury to get the 2 attacks. This is okay, but I wouldn't say it's an excellent minion. So the damage they've done to elementals in Battlegrounds is why I'm putting Shemvala, sadly, as a C. Actually, I'll put it at the top of C because, like, still getting to Tavern 6 is pretty good. Like, there is an argument that could be made. You could play elementals until you get to Tavern 6, and then once you get to Tavern 6, completely segue to a completely different tribe. That is something I've never considered, and because it's not a good strategy, it fucks you up. But like, it's the only way I can see it being really good, because Tavern 6 for elementals right now is not a good place to be. Cookie the Cook, the first in the absolute Giga Chad fucking tier. Because holy fuck this out. Hero power is actually insane. So for 2 mana, you eat a minion from the tavern. Right, it can be yours or in the tavern. Hold on, let me take a drink, because I'm not used to talking for 45 minutes straight. So for 2 mana, you eat a minion that's on the board, anywhere on the board. Right. Once there are 3 in there, you get to discover a minion based on the types you've got. So if you eat 3 crap demons, you can potentially get a good demon out of it. Like, because you got a choice of 3, and you took away Floating Watcher, which makes it slightly worse. But at the same time, they got Imposing Percussionist, which is pretty good, and the Pilgrim. Basically, as long as you got Soul Rewinder, this hero is nuts. Thank you, son. Okay, I've got 2 flavors of monster, by the way. I've got classic and I've got white monster. Which one should I go with? Yeah, this hero power is absolutely insane. It's in the versatility you can get out of this is unreal because, like, say you get the only thing you can't eat is neutral minions or like tribalist minions, but at the same time, why would you need to when you can eat tribed minions and get a tribed minion? Like, you're paying 6 gold for 1 free minion, but at the same time, like, it's basically as good. It's better than Alexstrasza because you're choosing your tribe. Honestly, that I think this is one of the highest tiered heroes in all the Battlegrounds, just because the consistency it provides and the fact it doesn't fall off late game. Like, when you get to 7, say you're playing mechs, where you get to 7-6, you're having a good game. You eat 3 cord pullers with it, which is that tavern 1 that generates a 1/1 when it dies. And you get a fucking beatboxer, utility bro, or clunker junker off it. Now that's the hardest choice in human history. But this hero enables that kind of shenanigans. It's worth it. Cthulhu. I'm gonna put this in A tier. Cthulhu hero power is, how much did it cost? It got 2. I think it cost 2, right? Hello? Okay, it does cost 2. So, before combat starts, it will throw a bunch of 1/1s at minions you control, and it will throw these. 1 second, Tangfastic. Hello, Kazik. 1 second, let me find the Tangfastics. Oh, I've got to open a new bag. Aha, fresh bag. I don't know if somebody redeemed that in a while. Good evening, Kazik. How are you doing? We're doing a tier list. Well, I'm doing a tier list. People are just sitting here listening to my voice. I don't know why there are people still here for. Good to hear. I'll have one of these ones. What's happening tomorrow? Where'd I put Cthulhu? Oh, it's here. Alright, so yeah, it throws 1/1s at random minions on your board, but it does it 1 additional time every turn. So you don't even have to use it, it just upgrades by the turn. Preparing something for your friends? Ah, nice. It upgrades every turn, so obviously it's spread across. It can be spread across all your minions. It can also hit the single minions multiple times. So the average game of Hearthstone lasts about 12 turns. So we're looking at it really only ever reaching 12-12. Maybe I'm overestimating Cthulhu. I used to really enjoy playing Cthulhu. But now I'm actually thinking about it, I'm maybe realising it's not as good as I thought it was. But, because that's not a real ball. I think I put Cthulhu top of C. C for Cthulhu. Alright, Dancing Daryl. This one's hard to rate. So, Dancing Devil, every time you sell a minion, it puts a 1/1 hat on a minion in a tavern. Or at least it used to. What do you do now? When you play a minion, give it a 1/1 hat that passes to a friendly minion when sold. Honestly, I don't ever see anybody playing Daryl unironically. I think it's garbage. I don't think there's a good use case scenario. Or I don't think there's a good enough use case scenario for Dancing Daryl. I think the only time I ever seriously played him was because there was a quest that was put like 60 hats on the 1/1 Tabby Cat token. Other than that, I really don't see, like, honestly, it's one of those. Honestly, I'm considering putting it lower than Bartendertron. So when you play a minion, it gains a hat that gives another minion 1/1 when it's sold. So it can only ever have one hat. Yeah, I'm leaving it unironically in E tier. I think it's garbage. I don't think there's a good reason to ever use this if there are 3 other options, or even if there's 1 other option. Unless that 1 other option is Bartendertron, and even then I might pick Bartendertron over it. Alright, Death Speaker Blackthorn. So twice per turn you get 2 blood gems. I'm going to put this in the fucking nutty category. So for 2 mana you get 4 blood gems. Right, there is a tavern for Quillbore that either, it's a choose one effect, so either buffs your blood gems by 1/1, or you get 4 blood gems. And that costs 3. But with the hero power, you get 4 blood gems for 2. Now, the reason that, actually, I might tier this higher. Reason being, the whole point of blood gems is that you buff them throughout the game using the Moonbacon Jazz or the Prickly Piper, literally any of the Tavern 6s, or the aforementioned Tavern 4 minion that buffs your Tavern, that buffs them. There's also a Tavern 7 minion. Now, the thing is those 4 blood gems you get all have the stat buffs that have been given to the blood gems throughout the course of the game. So, I mean, you could be adding, absolute worst case scenario, you're adding, 4 +1/+1s to a point where you can be adding 4 +26 +13 blood gems to your hand, which is over 100. It's over 100 stats just on its own. So I think honestly this goes in, that tier, because that is, like, Quillbores are maybe the second best tribe in Battlegrounds right now besides beasts. Like even a half decent beast build will come first place. Like, you have to fight a bit harder for a Quillbore build. Like, you have to put a lot of effort into buffing the blood gems, and again, right now there are trinkets that do that as well. So, like, I would honestly say that it's probably in this. I'd say it's in SS tier. It's just ridiculously strong. Deathwing, no. I'm gonna put it above Daryl, but below Hook Tusk. So whenever you've at the start of every combat, Deathwing permanently gives +2 attack to every minion in play. Honestly, I think this is kind of garbage. Attack doesn't really matter that much in Battlegrounds. Like, health is more important. And I think what makes it worse, and it's the same with King Mukla that we'll get to later, is it's a symmetrical effect. So it's not just you who gets that +2 attack, it's also your opponent. So you can lose by giving your opponent enough attack. There have been times when I've played against this. Turn 1 against Deathwing, I've bought the Annoyatron, which is it's a 1/2 with a Divine Shield and Taunt, and they've got literally any other minion. The buff happens. My Annoyatron becomes a 3/2, which can then trade with basically anything on Tavern 1. So, yeah, I think what draws it back is that it is a passive. Otherwise, I think there would be... I don't know if it would be better or worse if the +2 attack increased as the game went on, maybe based on your Tavern tier. But even then, it's still symmetrical, so I still think it's really weak. Diablo. He was a event hero. Hope the page is still available. Of course it fucking isn't. Thanks. Diablo Lord of Terror. Fuck me, they just nuked it. HS replay. Right, so every 4 turns, all enemies fight Lord of Terror. This is bad. Why isn't there any information about this? I'm just gonna have to ignore it then, aren't I? Because there's no statistics on it. There's nothing to tell us what Diablo does or did. It was a it was a temporary hero that gave I'm just gonna open the green one. You see no response. So I need to drink something. Also drink some water. Last thing I need is kidney stones. Yeah, you gained a bunch of like boss level abilities. The only one I specifically remember is that when all your minions dead, you summon 2 random demons. I don't know what to do with that now because it's just there. Alright, actually let me drag it to the end so I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, now I don't have to think about it. Dino's Humor Bran. Okay, this is, I believe, if you play 5 Battlecry minions, you get Bran. Bronzebeard, which is all your Battlecries are doubled. Is it still that? Let me see. Play by Battleground. 4 Battlecries. Okay, so back in the days of when Murlocs were actually good, before they removed Megasaur and for some reason just haven't ever given it back, this card was insane because you had a lot of really good Murloc buffs in Battlegrounds. You had the Cold Light Seer that gave +2 health, Elfin Navigator which gave everything +1/+1, King Bagoggle which gave everything +2/+2, and then of course the Big Daddy was on turn 6, which was Gentle Megasaur, which adapted all of your Murlocs. And if you had Bran, it did it twice, and people complained about that. Nowadays, though, there aren't as many really good battle cries in Battlegrounds. I mean, if I go to, let's go minions, filters, keywords, battle cry. Let's see what we got. Okay, I'm lying. There are some really fucking strong ones. This is not good. This is basically Bran but better, because it also does battle cries. It mixes Bran and Baron Rivendell or Titus Rivendell into one card. The battle cry on that is pretty good, although it's Town 7, so you'll very rarely see it. Murky, again, Murlocs. This is insane because the Mecha Demons are really strong. So also if you've got a Bran and the battle cry triggers twice, this triggers twice. Buffs. So discovery. Okay, yeah, I'm talking at my ass. Downtime with Branding can be really good, but I think it requires a specific kind of build to be as good as it can be. I think I put this right at the top of B, or right at the bottom of A. I think right at the bottom of A is probably a safer assumption, because the other thing about it is that as well as getting double battle cries, you're also getting a Tavern 5 minion. And when it comes to like the other game, being able to just also do that 5 damage, assuming it doesn't die, is like can really throw a lot of other people off. Okay, Drexar, Avenge 2. Hold on. Clear. So hold on, let me clear that. Now this is either attack or health. Drexar, permanent. Give your minions +1 attack permanently. This is good for beasts, and meanwhile Vandar Stormpike is good for undead. Basically, that's the way to remember it, because this one has attack, the other one has health. Beasts are really strong. Actually, my run... Was it yesterday night? No, I did that with Vandar. Yeah, they're both on my list, because these are both garbage tier hero powers. The problem is they're very slow for what they do. Even if you're playing, like, so the best case scenario for this is you're playing a token build in Beasts or Undead, either one. The problem is, though, is your tokens don't retain the attack buffs. Everything else on your board will, but the tokens do not. So it's kind of like both this and Vandar Stormpike actually are both just bad because they're very situational. Like you can have dozens of minions die in a turn, but only have like one or two of them actually gain any stats. I just think they're bad. Like as passives, even as passives, I think they're trash. Alright, ETC Band Manager, discover a buddy. I don't like this hero at all. The buddy system is fine when everybody has a buddy. There are some ridiculous ones. Like, there are some truly ridiculous buddies. But they're also mostly crap. Or they don't... Because it's random, and I'm pretty sure it costs a good amount to do it as well, because it doesn't unlock until Tavern 2. And it costs 3 mana to get a random buddy, which is like... That's costing you an actual minion, like an actually good minion that you're choosing to take. Or it's costing you an ability to Tavern up. Right, and it's a risk. You're just like, you're paying for something that might not even remotely match your playstyle. So I'd never pick it. Like, if there's an option, I'll take the other option every time without fail. Edwin Van Cleef. Now, his used to be give 1/1 by 4 things and it upgrades it. Yep, it's now 3. Okay, cool, that's even stronger. Right, so Edwin Van Cleef is the cause of one of my biggest headaches in all of Hearthstone Battlegrounds history. Right, because there is a string of about 8 games in a row that I get disconnected from. It wasn't in a row, but it was every time I played as Edwin and Elementals were in. This is like quite a way back, right? And I'd get the Rock Elemental, and I'd get the Cell Elemental, because my goal was, by those 3, buff the Rock Elemental, so you got a huge Taunt minion, like very, not a huge, but like bigger than it should be, Taunt minion very, very early on. And every time I did it, as soon as I hit the button to buff that Rock Elemental, the game would crash. So I'm not sure if that's hard-coded or like a soft-coding problem, but every single time without fail, if I'm playing Edwin and I'm playing Elementals, the game will crash. It's like I'm cursed to never be successful with Edwin Van Cleef and Elementals. Although I don't think he's on my list, so yeah. Elite Starseeker. This is the one where it costs 1 to search, like to discover a minion of your Tavern tier, and then each time you use it, it costs 1 more mana. So eventually, after 10 uses, it becomes unusable because obviously it costs 11. And unless you've got, actually, I suppose nowadays you can get trinkets to increase your gold. So I'd say up to turn. Let's say you use it every turn. Within 15 turns, it becomes completely unusable because it costs 15 to use, and most games are. I'd say the average Battlegrounds length is about 12 turns, on average. Like, that's when, usually I'd say turn 8, turn 10 is when damage cap goes away, and then after that, usually things get pretty crazy pretty quickly. I mean, honestly, like, it gets incrementally worse in power scaling. Unless you wait until you're on Tavern 6 and then just burn it every turn. And like, I mean, the earliest you can get to Tavern 6 is probably turn 8. I think I've been there slightly faster with Shambhala. But like, on average, I don't think you can get there faster than that, really. Maybe yeah, I'd say turn 8 to turn 10 is about the earliest you can assume to be on Tavern 6. And then you're just discovering Tavern 6 minions, which can obviously be good or bad. A wild cottony. What the fuck is a cottony? I think I put this in C. I think I put it above Phelan, below Shambhala. Like, the thing is like, it's good. The early ones are good, but like, when you're paying 10 plus gold to discover a minion that still might not work for you, yeah. Aye. Alright, Enhancer Mechano. So every time you roll the tavern, it gives a random minion in the tavern a random keyword. So it can give a minion Divine Shield, it can give a minion Wind Fury. Um, so the upside of it is, yes, it's cool that you can get a minion that you want that will then have a keyword attached to it, which when it comes to tripling is really strong. I believe I completed my quest to come first with Enhancer Mechano when Ziliax modules are in, because like getting a Ziliax module that has 2 keywords instead of just 1 is fucking insane, basically. Um, like especially if it's a magnetic one. Like basically, I think situationally speaking, every time I had a second keyword on the magnetic Ziliax module, I would come first place because you're getting that extra keyword that you wouldn't otherwise have. The problem is you don't know which minion it's going to be on, and you don't have so you have no way to know what minion it's going to be on, and you also have no way to know which keyword it's going to give it. Sometimes you can get so with Deflector Bot, I mean you never want Taunt on. Like you can get that, but you might really need a Deflector Bot. Yeah. I'm gonna put this in high D tier, just because I'm not a huge fan of RNG. Like you can probably see from a lot of these that like a lot of it is trying to control RNG. And this is too RNG for me. These two are just honestly just garbage RNG. Forest Warden Omu. I've heard this one's actually good. I'm putting it here. So every time you tavern, you get 2 gold. Usually you'll be taverning at the end of your gold or at the start of a turn. Getting that 2 extra gold, pretty good. Like so normally you buy a minion turn 1, then on turn 2 you tavern. Forest Warden Omu is the only one that really allows you to do anything after besides maybe Captain Hogger. Actually no, if you bought the pirate, there's 3-1 that gives you 1 gold next turn. And the free refresh elemental. Okay, there's a couple ways to do it. But like it gives you two gold back when you tavern, which I honestly just don't think is really that strong. Like there probably is a really fucking good argument for it being strong. I just don't know what that argument is, and I've never experienced it. I believe Forest Warden Omu isn't. Yeah, I've also first placed with Omu, so must be doing something right. Fungal Monster Flurgle. This is another one of those heroes that has been absolutely fucking kneecapped. I'm gonna put it next to Shemvala because this is like a special tier of minions that's been kneecapped by the way that Blizzard has managed their tribe. So I can't remember what Fungal Monster Flurgle used to be, but right now it's like sell 5 minions to get 1 random Murloc, which is absolute garbage because you can buy Tad, and you sell Tad and you get a random Murloc, plus you get 1 gold back. You know, like if it was sell 5 discover a Murloc, cool. I think that would be good. But it's not. It's just sell 5 minions, get around a Murloc, and like Murlocs aren't right now a tribe that you really do a lot of buying and selling with. Like I mean, you can do it for stats, but like you sell 5. Like so, you say you have a perfect situation where you're getting 3 free Murlocs every turn off the 2 trinkets. You know, we could even argue that you're getting 4 off Marin, but we'll say best case scenario you're getting 3 free Murlocs per turn. You buy 2, so you're costing yourself 6 gold. You do all your buffs, you sell them all, you get a Murloc, and it's a Tavern 1 Murky Swamp Striker. And it's like, cool, this was worth 15 gold, basically. Absolutely not. Also, a lot of the Murlocs are the kind of things that you keep around at the moment. So, like Bagurgle used to have a Death Rattle as well as a Battle Cry. And Dreamer's Embrace isn't that easy to get hold of in Battlegrounds at the moment. So, like, being able to trigger Battle Cries over and over again with it is kind of difficult. But yeah, I feel like it like, honestly, here's the thing. right? Murlocs. Number 1. Rebuff Begurgle. It's a Tavern 5 minion. Right? Giving... I think it just gives 3/3 at the moment. Wait, what does Begurgle do? Let me see. Search. Oh, yeah, hold on. I can just search from here, can't I? King Begurgle. Where are you? Yeah, give him +3/+3. Right, set that back to a 2/2, give it back its Death Rattle, doing exactly the same thing. Right, the other thing is bring back Gentle Megasaur. Gentle Megasaur was a fair card, and like the thing is even okay, yeah, it's overpowered if you got Bran. It's overpowered if you can if you got triple Bran. But at the same time, considering the power level of a lot of stuff in Battlegrounds at the moment, I think it's completely fair for it to exist in this arena. It's like they took out what's the name of the mech I used to really like? The reason I started playing mechs in Battlegrounds because there was a minion when I first started playing it. It was a 6/3 Paladin minion. Let me hold on. So we don't want to be on Battlegrounds cards. All card sets. No, this isn't where I want to be. Hold on. Why did it take me to the bottom? Card library. And basically it was every time you summon a mech, give it back its Divine Shield or something like that. There's also when Replicating Menace was in Battlegrounds as well. Wild sets. Paladin. Filters. I need tribe. Minion type. Mech. Keyword Divine Shield. There you go, Cobalt Guardian. Whenever you summon a mech, gain Divine Shield. Right, Replicate Menace, and this used to be a fucking absolute nightmare in Battlegrounds. Because this is what Deflector Bot is now, basically. Deflector Bot basically replaces, even though it's arguably worse. Even though it gains the attack, this is still better, because it just exists. Or it did exist, and now it doesn't, and I'm sad. What the fuck was I talking about? Where was I? Alright, yeah. But yeah, like, there's a lot of minions that they should bring back to Battlegrounds. Like, because it's not like they break the game anymore. Like, there are some that I can see why they were removed. But there are also some where it's like, what does it matter? Like, Murlocs are not top tier right now, even with Poison or Venomous. Like, they've become a hand buffing tribe, which doesn't really do a lot, in my opinion. Alright, Galacrond, also known as the Greed Hero. B tier. So for 1 mana, you target a minion in Tavern and replace it with a minion of a higher Tavern tier. I think you get to discover. Choose a so if you got a Tavern 4 minion in Tavern, you use Galacron's Greed and you get to choose it to become a Tavern 5 minion. Which can be really good, like, since you're literally picking a minion. So the strategy that I figure mainly exists for this is you don't really do anything for 6 whole turns, except turning a Tavern 1 minion into a Tavern 6 minion and you decide your build from there. It's basically the same as playing Easy Clap Thorum. It's like you do all this setup and then you decide your build. And it doesn't even really take that much. You just got to be careful with not accidentally rolling away the minion. And I mean, the thing is the hero power doesn't drop off even in the late game. Because, like, you can still just see a Tavern 5 minion go, well, I've got 1 gold, I can have a refresh. Or, sorry, I've got like 4 gold, I can refresh and hope I'll find something. Or I can, you know, transmodify that up into a Tavern 6 minion. And it could be the Tavern 6 minion you need. So yeah, that's a pretty strong hero. Gale Wing. Bad. I can't even remember what Gale Wing does. It's just garbage. In 1 turn, give your leftmost minion +2/+2. In 2 turns, gain 2 gold. In 3 turns... Ah, yeah, that's why. So Gale Wing also used to have another one, I think it was. Or one of these wasn't here. And it was in so many turns... It costs 5 less for you to upgrade your Tavern. And I think that when they took that away, they made this hero objectively definably worse. Like, in 2 turns, get 2 gold. Wow, amazing. In 3 turns, discover a minion. So in 3 turns, you might have Tavern to your next. So, like, it chooses it on the turn it activates. In 1 turn, give your leftmost minion +2/+2. So it's not immediate effect. It's something you have to basically wait for. I just think that all 3 of the abilities it has are bad. Like, except maybe to discover a minion if you're Tavern tier. It's just, hold on, let me just double check. It's kind of not brilliant. If they gave back the reduced taverning, I think that would be strong. Because I think it was something like 5 turns. But at the same... no, it wasn't 5 turns. It might have been 3 turns. I don't remember what it was. But, like, just being able to reduce tavern cost is really strong. In some situations. Especially, like, mainly by the reduction it was giving. It's the same as Dark Moon Prize version of it. It was a Dark Moon Prize... hold on. I wish I could just remove all filters. I think I could just click here and remove all filters, right? And then we go Battlegrounds. And what we want is Dark Moon Prizes. Spell. Filter. Dark Moon. Fuck. I used to have a database of all the Dark Moon prizes. But yeah, there used to be one that you could get that would reduce the tavern cost by 5. And that's a big deal. Alright, George the Fallen for 2 mana gives something a Divine Shield. This is really strong at any point in the game. Because it's a permanent Divine Shield for 2 mana. Now there is a Tavern spell currently on, I think, Tavern 5 that costs... what's it cost? There's a Tavern spell that costs a lot to give a minion Divine Shield, and... Prosthetic Hand isn't loading. Okay. Where is it? Is it really Tavern 5? Tavern 6? No, it can't be Tavern 6. Maybe they took it out. Let me see. Wow, that's shit for Tavern 5. Holy fuck. Tavern 4? Maybe they did take it out. But yeah, there used to be a Tavern spell that just gave a minion Divine Shield permanently, and it cost like 4 or something. And it's like one of those Tavern spells that is absolute garbage. Whereas paying 2 mana, it used to... where the fuck did I put it? Where's it gone? George. There you go. It used to cost 4, which, again, even that's fair pricing for it. But, like, costing 2 is just fantastic. Like, realistically, that's just very, very strong. Very, very rarely are you going to be playing against something that deals consistently well against... Like, I mean, that's the thing, is you set up your... You work out what tribe you're doing, you work out what minions you're going to get. As soon as you get that minion, you slap a Divine Shield on it, and then you don't have to worry for the rest of the game. Because it means it's always one hit further away from, you know, getting destroyed by anything. So yeah, that's the idea behind it anyway. Like, it's super strong. Comparatively. Alright, Giant Fin. I haven't seen this card in a while. Is this the old one or the new one? Let me see. They deleted a lot of the pages because they're wankers. Heracross. Alright, so Murloc King at the start of combat, give your minions one Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Murloc. Again, this is kind of bad. This is only slightly better than Bracan, because it gives you a tribe-specific type. But at the same time, it's also giving it to all your minions and not just some of them. Other than that, honestly, it could be garbage tier. I think I put it at the bottom of E. Actually, no, I still put it higher than Daryl. Grey Bow. Whenever you summon a token during combat, give it taunt and stats. I think it's +2/+3. Let me double check that. No, that is not the right one. +1/+2. Okay. I mean, realistically, at the point it starts becoming valuable. I mean, hold on. No, that's not right at all. Right now, there are two tribes that do tokens very well, and that's undead and beasts. Giving them taunt and even a little bit of stats is quite strong. Also on reborn minions as well, which is because it keeps shit off of your abomination and your treant thing and your Titus. Yeah, okay, I can see an argument for this, but it's only in like 2 out of 10 tribes. There aren't really a lot of things else that really do this. And it's bad in mechs. I think I'm gonna put it above Alakir when it loads. Guthrune Totem. This used to be garbage, by the way. Guthrune Totem used to be such a shit hero. It used to be like, give +2/+2 to a minion of each tavern tier. So like if you've got obviously the optimal play for it is you've got a tavern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you're giving +2/+2 across them, that's just garbage. But now it's really good, kind of. After you buy 20 tiers worth of cards, get a tavern triple reward. So basically, if you buy 3 tavern 6s and tavern 2, you get this. If you buy 20 tavern 1 minions, you get this. I wouldn't say it's A tier. I think I put it here. Because this is a buffed hero as well. This is one that used to be in the trash. Because like the thing is a 2/2 buff isn't really that good. But like being able to get a triple reward every 20 mana basically, or every 20 taverns worth of cards, and this also counts for tavern spells, is really, really strong. Like especially late game when you're looking for the last pieces of your combo, like tavern 6s. Heist Baron Togwaggle. This is steal minions. It costs 1 less every turn you don't use it. Yeah, so it starts at 11. This is best used on Tavern 6. Basically, every Tavern 6, every turn you're on Tavern 6, you just use this instead. Because, so you'll be getting 6 minions and a Tavern spell. Even if most of them are bad, you'll still be able to roll enough to find one good minion. Although saying that, the alternative could happen. Like, you could do... there's a Tavern 6 hero... there's a Tavern 6 spell that replaces the entire tavern with minions of your choice. What are these? Okay, these are trinkets, right? Rewards? These are the quests. Yeah, so choose a minion, refresh the tavern with minions of its type. The reason I won with Heist Baron Togwaggle is because I did this with mechs and then stole 2 beatboxers and a bunch of magnetics. Basically, it's an auto win button in the right situation, and worst case scenario is just something you ignore until you see a tavern that you really need. I think this is mid B tier. Here seems good. Illidan Storm Rage is going right next to Allocator Windlord for exactly the same reason Allocator Windlord is in B. I would be giving it star rating because it's Illidan Storm Rage and he has one of the best voice lines in all of Hearthstone. Although I am still pissed off that they removed the Illidan Stormrage card and replaced it with Xavius, a character who, if you haven't read the War of the Ancients, you don't know who Xavius is, which kind of, in my opinion, ruins the sort of idea of why it's there in the first place. Illidan is your left and rightmost minion gain +2/+1 and attack. This is at the start of combat, so it's before anything else has happened. And yeah, usually you put this on things that have death rattles, like beneficial death rattles, so they die and spread stats, or they die and do something else, basically. Like, it doesn't do much more than that. Otherwise, it's just like the only problem is that it's kind of in a way bad as well, because it's not an optional thing. You have to do it every turn. So if you don't have a minion that you don't want to throw that at, then yeah, it can be a bit rough. Infinite Toki is going next to Galacrond, wherever the fuck he is. Where are you, Crond? There you go. I'm gonna put it here. Actually, yeah, I'd say it's slightly worse than Crond. Actually, I'm gonna move Georgia up. Okay, so Toki's hero power is a 1 mana, so it just refreshes the tavern, but also puts a tavern, a minion from the tavern above in there as well. I think it might be 2 now. Let me see. I think they buffed it to be 2 instead of 1. Yeah, it's 2 taverns, 2 minions from the tavern above. So yeah, it's pretty good, but it's random. Like, unlike Galacrond, where you can pick what the next tavern minion you're gonna find is, with Toki it's completely random, and it has to be, you know, like, for it to be otherwise fair. It's like you're rolling for a tavern above. But it guarantees, so if you're on tavern 4, it guarantees you 2 for tavern 5 minions, and it does it every time you refresh. So maybe it's better. Maybe it's better than Crond. So it does guarantee you 2 of the next tavern. So, I mean, on Tavern 4 for some builds, you wouldn't even need to go to Tavern 6. And with this hero power, you wouldn't even really need to go to Tavern 5, because you can just keep rolling, and sooner or later you're almost guaranteed to find the Tavern 5 you're looking for, unless you get really, really unlucky. Okay. Ingay the Iron Hymn. I need to remember what this does. It's 0 mana, gives something... Yeah, okay. So it's half of Rakanushu's hero power. Right, so it's a 0 mana, give a minion either attack or health equal to your tier. It changes each turn, so you've got to have, you know, so... I'm going to put this in D. I'm going to put this here, I think. It's not that I think it's bad as such, it's just like, the maximum you're ever going to... Like, it's 0 mana, gives 6 attack or health, but it's only give 6 at maximum, absolute maximum. It's the same with... I'm actually going to put Rakanushu right next to it as well, because... where are you? There you go, Rakanushu. Rakanushu goes right next to it. For the same reason, it's 1 mana, and it gives both the attack and health, instead of attack or health. That's the only difference. Ingay changes each turn, and it is either attack or health. Rakanushu gives attack and health, so it's, you know, arguably slightly better. The new Storm Coil, I'm putting in SSS tier, not because she's particularly brilliant, because she's not, especially since they removed Replicating Menace, but because I love mechs, which isn't going to go the same when Maleficent Mana Storm comes up. It's just because every 10 minions that die, you get a random mech. Right. Maybe I shouldn't be letting my feelings come into contact with this. The thing is I've had so many really... Like, a lot of the games where I played as Innie Stormcoil have been... Like, every time I've needed a specific mech, almost every time, I've almost always got the minion that I needed off of it. Like, on Tavern 6, I've almost always got on a beatbox, so... I think only 1 out of 10 times I've gotten the Whirling Wind Fury motherfucker. But I'm pretty sure every time I've been on Tavern 6 and been playing as Innie, I've gotten a beatboxer off her, which is really strong. Also, I really like the standard, the normal Hearthstone version of a card, which is it summons a copy of a mech and gives it a bunch of like keywords and shit. So I'm only putting it up here for style. But yeah, otherwise it's not like a particularly brilliant hero. If this specific thing was attached to Beast, it would be broken. Because there's a trinket that has when 6 minions die, get a random beast, and that's overpowered as fuck. Because obviously you get a lot of tokens. At the moment, Mech is not in a place where you can generate a lot of tokens because they took away Replicating Menace, and that's bullshit. Jandis Barov, I believe this is 0 mana swap. A minion in the tavern with one on your field. Swap a friendly with a random one in the tavern. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. So yeah, you click on your minion and it gives a random minion from the tavern for it instead. You can manipulate the randomness of this quite easily. Because obviously it's not Tavern 2 is 4 minions anymore. Tavern 2 is now 3 minions plus a Tavern spell. So all you got to do is buy the other 2 minions and trade off your token for selling with Jandis. I actually don't know if Jandis is still currently in Battlegrounds. I think they removed her because you can put tokens into the tavern and that confuses people. You see, the thing is, Jandis used to be really, really strong because of Amalgadon. But I don't know if it's... I'm trying to remember what the reason that happened was. For now, I'm going to put her in C. I'm going to put her in mid-tier C. Because I don't really like random. Kel'Thas, this is a shit card. This is a oh no, they updated it. This is why I won with it recently. Yeah, very recently, in fact. No, I didn't. It was the other one, Taithalan, I won with. Sorry, Kel'Thas is still on my list. So every third minion you play gains 1/1 and improves it. So you have to play a shit ton of minions for it to be valuable. Unlike the Jailer, which is like the opposite, where a set number of minions die and it buffs it. This actively requires you to be spending, basically wasting gold. It's good in elementals because of this elemental and the one where you get a random elemental added to your hand as a battle cry. Because you're playing a lot of minions. Other than that, I don't think it's very good. I think this and Taithalan are both garbage tier both garbage tier heroes, by the way. King Mukla is going right next to Deathwing. Actually, I'm going to put it on this side of Deathwing. So, at the start of every turn, you get 2 bananas and everybody else in town gets 1. Randomly, it can be a big banana. So, a banana is just a card that gives 1/1, doesn't cost any mana. A big banana just gives 2/2 instead. I don't like it because it's symmetrical. So, while you are getting that banana, everybody else is also getting bananas as well. So it's kind of too fair because like if you get 2 standard bananas and somebody gets a big banana, they've technically had more value than you have outfit. So I personally think it's bad, and that's why it's going right next to Deathwing because they're both symmetrical hero powers. Kurtrus Ashfallen. So this is every 3 minions you buy, you get a copy of one of them, but it has to be in the same turn. So obviously, this is more or less only useful when you hit 9 or 10 mana. Maybe you can do it at 9 or 10 gold. You can probably do it at 8 as well, maybe 7 at a push. I personally don't think that... I mean, the thing is you can push into a triple with it, but I think the setup is too stupid. I'm going to put it here with Kel'Thas and Taithalan. Taithalan is also going here because it's also bad. Lady Vash, S tier, 100%. So her hero power used to be garbage, but now it's 1 mana, get a random spell burst, No, not spell burst. Spellcraft. And the first spellcraft you play each turn is permanent. Reasons it's good is because spellcraft spells are temporary buffs. So, like, the Reef Riffer gives a minion +1/+1 times your Tavern, so up to a maximum of +6/+6. But unless it's a Red Naga from Tavern 2, the Lava Lurker, I think it's called, you'll lose that buff come next turn. Whereas with this hero power, your first spellcraft, no matter where it comes from, is permanent. So that's really strong. Actually, I don't know about S. I think I put it. No, I think I keep it in S. Honestly, I think that between this and Queen Ajara, like the two specific, by the way, Naga hero power, the two specific Naga heroes, I think they're both really fucking strong. Like, I'd say maybe Vash is stronger than Ajara, but Ajara can be stronger depending on what's happening you're on. Lich Barziel, another of my favourites. I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but I think Lich Barziel is only in play if demons are in play. And the reason this is valuable is because of Soul Rewinder. Soul Rewinder is a Tavern 2 demon with not brilliant stats to start with, but he gains 1 health. So every time your hero would take damage, you rewind that damage and give it this 1 health instead. If you're playing demons, you literally need Soul Rewinder, because otherwise you're just playing Suicide Turbo, which we'll come to later because it's one of my favourite strategies. With this, you're paying 2 mana plus health to steal a minion from the tavern. So you're basically paying 1 less gold and health. But realistically, what you're doing is you're paying 2 gold for a minion and buffing Soul Rewinder. And that's, like, this is just insane value. Back when Floating Watcher was still in as well, insane value. They've also just put a new one in, which I don't think much of. I think it's just like, your next tavern spell costs 1 less. I've used it a little bit here and there, because it has some synergy with Malky Dialki. But honestly, I don't. I think that the best 2 examples are definitely Soul Rewinder and Floating Watcher. Even if Floating Watcher is no longer in the game. Okay, Lord Barov. Let's put this. This is extreme middle of the road here. Also, I don't think he's in the tavern right now. I haven't seen him in a while. Okay, Lord Barov is 0 mana, or it might be. Let me see. Is it 0 mana? Predict the outcome of one of the, like, one random ongoing battle, like the next battle. And if you win, you get 3 gold. If you lose, you get none. If it's a draw, you get 1. Oh, it costs 1. Okay, so yeah. What the fuck is that? Why is the thing for Diablo here? That's weird. Related cards, Diablo to Lord of Terror. Why? But yeah, so if you win the bet, basically you get 3 gold. I think it's like the most middle of the road minion you can, like, hero you can really get. I don't think it's strong and I don't think it's weak. I think it's basically like one of those hero powers you can basically just ignore and play with it as a, like, it's basically as if you don't have a hero power at all. Oh. Jaraxxus, Eridar, Lord of the Burning Legion. My favourite hero in Battlegrounds. Jaraxxus has probably gone through some of the most ridiculous changes to a hero in Battlegrounds, because for some reason the team behind Hearthstone just don't know what to do with demons. We keep buffing and nerfing demons in, like, really weird ways. Like, so Fellback, almost every time there's a change in Battlegrounds, will change its effect. Sometimes it will also join the party in eating minions from the tavern. Sometimes it won't. Jaraxxus has had give all your demons +1/+1, and a couple of times I'm pretty sure it's had the current hero power, which is 1 mana. Target a demon you control that consumes a minion in the tavern to gain its stats. Which is basically about as strong as a hero power as you can get, especially because with demons, this is why you want to be playing the slimes, by the way, because you want to it would just be like buffing up the tavern as much as you can in order to be eating big, basically. Easily my favourite. Mayev D. Here, I think right next to between Inge and Enhancer Mechano. So it used to make a minion dormant and you get it in 2 turns and it has stats, and then for a while it was 3 turns, no, then it was 1 turn, and then it's 2 turns again. They keep changing it. It's another one of those heroes that's had that hero power changed a lot. But yeah, basically it now locks a minion in your hand and it gains some stats. And then you get it in like 2 turns. Honestly, I mean, it's like, it's just sort of very weird. It's not like particularly strong. Malagord. Alright, I need to remember which one Malagos is. Malagos is replace a minion with another one of the same tavern tier. Right? Twice per turn, yeah. Okay, so this has been consistent the whole time. This is a ridiculously strong hero power. Do I put it on the same tier as Blackthorn? Actually, yeah, I think I do. So, even on turn 0, if you don't like the 3 minions that are put before you, you can cycle 2 of them, or 1 of them twice, to find a minion you actually like on that tavern tier. If demons are available, for example, I will be doing that to look for a Wrathweaver. On tavern 2, I'll be doing it to search for a Soul Rewinder. Effectively, like, the hero power is just extremely freaking strong. For a 0 mana hero power, to be able to manipulate the RNG of the game that much is, like, it can be ridiculous. Obviously, it can backfire horribly, but at the same time, like, you know, if you even medium roll, it's like, it's still good. Master Nguyen. This is an S tier hero, but it's S tier hero with an axiom. This is this the one, or is there another one? I think there's another one. Yeah, a nameless one as well. There are 2 heroes in Battlegrounds. I'll say this one's exclusive to it for now. That require a high knowledge of the game mode, basically. And Yuyan is one of them, because every time you choose a new hero power, basically, and for it to be good, you have to basically understand every other hero that exists in the game mode, because it allows you to sort of look at your board, look at your tavern, and go, okay, so this is where I am right now. Which of these hero powers benefits me best? So it's S tier, but only on the assumption that the person who's playing knows enough about Battlegrounds to use it properly. Millhouse Mana Storm. Minions cost 2, rolling costs 2, taverning costs more. This is a hero with such a... I'm going to put this in garbage because I hate it. This is a hero with a ridiculously high skill ceiling. Like, I've seen people really pop off with this hero, but at the same time, actually, that's really not fair. Is it? I'll put it in E. I've seen people really pop off with it, but like, I've also seen people just immediately concede if they pick Millhouse, because the skill ceiling for it is so ridiculously high. Maleficent Mana Storm is, I believe it's every mech gets +2. Whenever you summon a mech, give it 2 attack. As a mech person, I used to think this was the best shit in the world. Now it's one of my least favourite heroes because of that 2 attack is not good. The only turn that's really valuable is turn 1, and that's if you pick a Neutron. Maybe the Cord Puller, but it's nowhere near as strong as it could be. I'm pretty sure one of it alternative, like what it used to be, is it used to have mechs you buy get +2/+1, which is also 1 health. which is really good for wait, where is it? It's Maleficent. Whenever you summon a mech, give it to attack. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good. It just feels like it's bad. Like again, attack doesn't mean that much in Battlegrounds. It's health that matters. Oh, sorry, I'm not used to talking for 2 hours straight. Mr. Bigglesworth. Actually, hold on. What? Oopsie. Right, there is an unspoken rule between me and Alex, and that is that if Mr. Bigglesworth is available, we have to play Mr. Bigglesworth. Mr. Bigglesworth is whenever an enemy hero dies, an enemy player dies, you get one of the minions that they had, and this includes if a minion is golden. So yeah, like that's the rule. If we see Kel'Thuzad's kitty, we have to play Kel'Thuzad's kitty. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like it really makes so. There's two things that generally happen. Either you get some really strong minions and you pop the fuck off, or you're the first person to die because just out of spite, other players refuse to die and give you their minions. Like I've seen players like in the early days of Battlegrounds when Mr. Bigglesworth was like because I think it's always been there. I think it's been like maybe one format, not in Battlegrounds, but like people used to sell off all of their minions before dying, just to spite the Mr. Bigglesworth player. And I was like, you bastard. Murloc Holmes. So you choose you discover a minion from your next player's from your next player's field. No, you discover a minion, and if it's on your next player's, fuck this, I'll just read the card effect. This is a hard one to explain without explaining it. Look at two minions. Guess which one your next opponent had last combat for a coin. So it's kind of get a coin. It goes in the same place as Barov, really, because it's guesswork. Actually, no, I'll say it's still lower than Barov, because Barov... So when you get to choose between who's going to win, like, when you're betting on who's going to win, like, obviously you're going to be looking at which one's in a higher position, which one has a bigger board, which one have you played most recently and know what their board is. If you're using HDT, that's obviously way easier. With Murloc Holmes, it's once again still educated guesswork. You're looking at, okay, so they have 3 undead, and it's offering you a choice of the Patient Scout or the skeletal 1/1 that summons 2 1/1s when it dies. That's just a bitch, because they could be choosing greed, or they could have definitely had the 1/1 last turn. But the downside is you getting only 1 coin out of it, so it's not really that strong. Mutinous Devourer. I can't remember if this still gives 1 gold, but it destroys a minion. I believe it's silence and destroy, so you wouldn't get a death rattle off anything that it destroys. And then it spits the stats at another minion, and let's see if I get a coin off it, because I remember at one point you used to get a coin. Yeah, gain 1 gold. Remove a friendly minion, spit its stats onto another, gain 1 gold. I'm not a big fan of this one personally. Primarily because it's random what it spits the stats at. There was the one build I had. I think it's still my biggest minion, which I'll talk about in just a second. But because it's silence, if it was destroy, like if it triggered a death rattle, cool. But because it doesn't, I think it's worse. Alright, catch Ultra Ball. Right, so the biggest minion I ever had was a Taragosa, and it was with Mutinous, because I had the Trickery Imp, which is the one that sends itself to another minion when it dies. So I only had 3 minions on the board. It was 2 golden imps and a golden Taragosa. And I'll buy other minions, of course, throughout the game that like buff the dragons or buff the imps, and I'd eat them and send their stats to either Taragosa, which, you know, obviously cool, or they go to the imps, which would then give their health to Taragosa permanently, which I think gave me a 2,800 something health Taragosa, which was fucking ridiculous. Like, it can be good, but like that combo, I don't think can be done anymore. I think you have to be at the very low MMR to get away with it. Nefarian, I don't know why I even bothered with this one. It's going trash. Nefarian hero power is a one mana, like just one mana. Actually, you know what? The funniest thing is, I think this is arguably better than Brakan. It's literally just a flat deal one damage to every minion on your opponent. I think it's on all the board. God, that really makes Brakan worse, doesn't it? Let me move this. I think Gale Wing is probably still better. And I'll put Nefarian right at the top of E tier. Yeah, I think that works. So yeah, it's literally just deal one damage to all minions in play at the start of combat. It's nothing big, but if you're playing against mechs or George or anything that has divine shields, that's really fucking strong. If you're not, it's just money for old rope, basically. It doesn't really matter. Nozdormu. This is... Where do I put Nozdormu? Hero power is just get one free refresh every turn, which can be valuable, but I don't think it's that valuable. I think it's, again, another middle of the road one. Hero power is good, but not good enough to really be higher than the C tier. Alright, N'Zoth. At the start of the game, you get a 2/2 fish that gains the death rattles of every minion that dies in combat. I actually only recently got my a beta Pokemon behind. Okay. I only recently got my win in Battleground. My first place was this in Battlegrounds recently, because it's good with beasts, and even then, it's not particularly good with beasts. That's the thing, is it's in a weird place. Like, you can run it in undead, but you have to get to Tavern 6 for it to be really valuable. So basically, this hero is only as good as all of the death rattles in Battlegrounds combined. So I'm going to put it in B tier. I think I'll put it right at the top of B tier, actually. Because the thing is usually death rattles are pretty good. Battle cries are obviously what you want because they're faster. But, like, if you get a good enough setup with a bunch of, like, even relatively strong... Like, the main reason I won that Battlegrounds I played the other day was because of the Tappen 4 1/2 when it dies, summon a 7/7. When it's tripled, it summons a 14/14. So, obviously, when that died, the fish also gets the ability to summon a 14/14 when it dies. So, any token build can work with it. Basically, which is exclusively beasts. Basically, it's an exclusively beast hero right now. I would say, like, using it for basically any other hero is probably bad. Sorry, any other tribe besides beast is probably bad. Maybe undead. I can see undead getting away with it, like, because of their the Moreaus and the eternal summoners. There's a lot of stuff you can get away with it, but I don't think it is, like, outside of beast and undead. I don't think you can get away with it. Onyxia. It's Avenge 3, summon a 3/1 that attacks immediately. This is not good. When it's buddies in the game, it's better. But, like, you have to... 3 minions have to die before you can summon a 3/1 that attacks immediately. And because it has 1 health, it dies immediately. Hold on one sec. Oh, that's not good. I might be ill. I've noticed myself feeling a bit more nasally as I've been talking. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to talking for like 2 hours straight, but at the same time, it's not. I don't know, I'm feeling a bit woozy as well. Maybe again, that's from not being used to talking for 2 hours straight. Overlord Sourfang, this I believe buffs a minion in the tavern, and every couple of turns it doubles. Okay, give a minion, yeah, okay, so 2-1 and it doubles every 3 turns. This is actually not atrociously bad. There are and I'm talking about this exclusively for mechs. With mechs, you can buff a magnetic minion before you buy it, and then cheers. You can buff a magnetic minion before you buy it, and then obviously magnetize it afterwards. And it doesn't take very long for it to get. Hold on, how many turns is it? It's every 3 turns, right? Doubles every 3 turns. So by turn 12, 4, 8, 16, 16, 4. No, that's not how that works. 16, 8. You know, that's still good stats. Especially for like a normal module. That could be crazy. And it only costs one every turn. I struggle to think of many other things that are this beneficial for it. Maybe stuff like Bran and Titus are good as well for it, because obviously you can get them to be slightly bigger so they don't just immediately fucking die. But I think this is another very middle of the road hero that goes in C. C tier's looking very full. Ozomat. So you get a free 2/2 minion at the start of every combat that has taunt, and it gains 2/2 every time you sell a minion. Okay, yeah. So it gains 1/1 after you sell a minion. Good in tribes where you sell a lot of minions again. But like a lot of minion, like there can be benefits to this. Honestly, I think Octasari, the minion, is just a significantly better version of this. So I'm going to put this in. I mean, the 2/2 minion is fine, and it counts as a beast, which is fine. I just don't think it's very good. Comparing it to like Yasharaj is pretty not good. Patches a pirate, SSS tier. It's the first one. It's the second one that's in SSS tier, not because I like it. It's genuinely just because Patches a pirate is just genuinely a seriously threatening hero. So its hero power costs 3. Discover a pirate. Is it discover or you get a pirate? I think you should get a random pirate. Yeah, get a random pirate. Like it matters. Why can't I now move this? Alright, I'm going to put these here. Hold on, let me clarify. Left equals power. Right equals because I like them. Right. Hold on. Right. Fan length. There, that'll do. Slightly better. But yeah, like, the thing is pirates aren't as strong as they used to be. They've done a lot of, like, really nasty things to pirates. The scam build is still there, but that's basically all you can really do with pirates now. Like, Gold Grubber being gone sucks. The nerf to Salty Looter sucks. The infinite, like, the ridiculous amount of gold generation doesn't exist anymore because they took out half of it and nerfed the one thing they left. Like, honestly, they've fucked pirates right up. Like, if I find Salty Looter, which is a Tavern 4 minion now, for some reason. Where are you? Salty Looter, Salty Looter, Salty Looter, Salty Looter, Salty Looter. Or is it a 5? No way it's a 5. They haven't gone that stupid. Come on. Is it just not on here? Salty Looter. Tavern 5. Yeah, it is a fucking Tavern 5, Jesus. Right, so it has 1/1 for each pirate you summon this game, wherever this is. It's similar to that elemental piece of shit, which is, it gets better stats, because it gets 2/1 for every elemental you summon this game. And I believe it looks like it's on Tavern 4 as well, whereas this is on Tavern 5. Where is it? No way it's on Tavern. No way the elemental's on Tavern 3. No, okay, so it must be Tavern 4. Where is it? Is it on Tavern 5? I can't see it. Oh, there he is. So yeah, this game's 2 plus 2 plus 2/1. Plus it starts on 2/1. Like, so Salty Looter used to be a 4-drop that gained 1/1 every time you played a pirate. This is worse now, because it's Tavern 5, so it's sharing the same space as the Flourishing Frostling, which is, it's like, on Tavern 1 you used to have Scavenging Hyena. Right, Scavenging Hyena gains +2/+1 every time a beast dies in combat. At the same time as that, though, there was... What was the minion that was in the tavern with at the same time? There was like a Tavern 3 or a Tavern 4 minion. That also gained stats when a minion died. I'm trying to remember what it was. That's rough. But yeah, like, but the thing is, the reason it's bullshit is because, Scavenging Hyena being on Tavern 1 made it a broken minion, because there was a minion on, like, Tavern 3 or 4 that did exactly the same thing, but arguably less good. What were we talking about? I can't remember what hero we were talking about. I go on sidetracks like this way too often. Oh, Patches of Pirate. Yeah, so because they've nerfed pirates, they've objectively, definably made Patches worse. Because the pool of minions you can get from it is bad. Is worse now than it could have been. Patchwork, middle of the road. Absolute. I'm going to put this in high B instead of low C. It's, sorry, low B instead of... yeah, I'll put this in top place C. Absolute middle of the road. It starts with 60 health. It's a passive. It starts with double the health of a normal hero. Which is completely fine. All it really does is mean you survive a bit longer. Sometimes. Professor Putricide is discover 2 undeads and mesh them together, and you create an undead that you can then play. And it mixes their stats, keywords, costs. Actually, no, just stats and keywords. It used to be, when Putricide first came into Battlegrounds, and it was very early on, its hero power was give the leftmost minion 20 attack. And because of Fiendish Servant, which, when it died, it gives the attack to another minion you control, they nerfed it down to 10. And then they just removed it for ages, until Undead came into the game officially. At which point they got create an Undead, which is very similar to Deathstalker Rexar's hero power, the Death Knight hero for Hunter. Problem is that a lot of the lower tiers are bad. Like, realistically, you want to be saving this until you get to Tavern 6 to do it. Otherwise, it's just like, it's not as good as it potentially could be. I'm gonna put it in like D, like high D, just because the requirement for what it can summon is a bit rough. Like in early taverns, you don't want to be using it at all, and I think it costs 4. Yeah, it costs 4. When you only get to craft 3 in the entire game. So it's the orbital laser of Battlegrounds Heroes. Pyramid used to be good, is now garbage. Pyramid's hero power used to be 0 mana, give a minion 4 health. And now it's 0 mana, give a minion plus 1 health. If you don't use it, it gives a set amount of health instead. Absolute garbage. Reason being is because you've got to not use a hero power in order for it to improve. And even then, all it's doing is giving a very minor amount of health. Like, you could not use it for 10 turns and be giving 10 health every turn. But at that point, you've already sort of fucked your game up. So, sorry, I'm very phlegmy at the moment. Lady Ajara, Queen Ajara. Bam. Okay, so this is get your. You got to get your battle. Your. You got to get your tavern to 30 attack, and then it unlocks a true hero power, which is 1 mana. Discover a Naga. The reason this is in a tavern above this is in a tier above Alexstrasza, is because. Actually, no, I think this goes to the same place as Alexstrasza, because there is a requirement attached to this. Actually, no, that's not true. Because you have to get to Tavern 4 with Alexstrasza first. Whereas with Queen Ajara, you've only got to get your Tavern to 30 attack. And also, Nagas are, broadly speaking, better than Dragons, especially because Critter Wrangler's back in the Tavern. Yeah, I'd say this is where it is. But yeah, it becomes 1 mana, discover a Naga. Almost all the Naga cards are really fucking good. And being able to just discover 1 of 3 is really, really strong. Queen Wagtoggle, I believe, is right at the bottom. Let me just double check, because I think it's a passive that just gives some stats. Give a friendly minion of each type stats equal to its tier. No. Because... So I can see this maybe being good, but the problem is you are very rarely going to be playing mid-range. Or like a mixed tribe board, because obviously that's not good for consistency. So usually it's going to be handing out only 2 buffs. And say you keep the Annoyatron that you've been buffing for the whole game, it's only giving it 1/1. And it's at the start of combat as well, isn't it? And it's start of combat, so the buffs aren't even permanent, so it belongs absolutely in the garbage. Ragnaros the Fire Lord. I think it's D tier. So Ragnaros the Fire Lord is once a bunch of your minions. I don't know if it's your minions die or opponent's minions die. After you kill 20 minions, get Sulfurous. It changes your hero power to Sulfurous, which is at the end of your turn. Give your left and right mesh minion +4/+4. So you've got to kill 20 minions to trigger it, and then you're only really getting +8/+8, and those minions have to be in specific positions where they might not be the best suited. It's not a terrible hero power, it's just not ideal. Reno, the Relicologist, baby. A tier. Triple S tier. Giga Chad. Absolute fucking Giga Chad. Right, so the reason this is one of my favourite heroes in all of Battlegrounds is because of what I like to call Suicide Turbo. And the way this works is... And it requires a bit of RNG. Hold on, let me just line up a second playlist for after this finishes, because it's coming to the end. Game soundtracks. Yeah. What hero are we talking about? Oh, Reno. Fuck. I need to. Oh, I'm not feeling good. I'm gonna take a short break, get some air. I'll be right back. Okay. Feeling a bit better. I'll work out what's going on later. Alright. Rockmaster Voon is next. So I'm going to put Cho and Garl together because they are duos heroes and aren't really meant to be used. Where's the other one? It should be. See, these are meant to be alphabetized, but they're not because some of them are in weird places. It must have been the upload order. Where's the other one? Cho and Garl. There it is. So I can review those two together. Rockmaster Voon. At the end of every 2 turns, you copy the leftmost card in your hand, doesn't matter what it is. This is a good hero. I'm going to put this in probably right here. This is a ridiculous triple enabler, and is really good in, specifically, I'd say Murlocs is, oh wait, no music. Duh. It's really, really good in Murlocs because of the hand buff shenanigans they do nowadays. And I'd say really Murlocs is the best use case scenario for them. Magnetic, like Mechs, is also really strong. Because obviously you can duplicate magnetics, or beatboxers, or anything you sort of really need. So yeah, I'd say this is a pretty strong hero. Maybe not. Am I thinking A tier for this? I think it's not A tier. I think it's definitely about here though. I'd say top of B tier. Okay, I'm only catching that. I know it's Gen 4, but I'm only catching it because I know it's a legendary or pseudo legendary. But yeah, it's definitely like, because of its ridiculous triple potential as well as like insane buff potential when it comes to Murlocs and Mechs. I'd say, because like both of these really only work with 2 tribes really well, but I'd say Rockmaster, because of what it enables, is probably stronger. Rakara the Valorous. This is a passive hero power. Whenever a minion kills another minion in combat, it gains 1 attack permanently. I'm putting this with... Where's Vandar and Drakthar? I'm putting this here with them. It's a passive to give attack, but at the same time it's only 1 attack. It doesn't upgrade as the game goes on. It falls off really fast. The best use case scenario for it is the dog that you get on Tavern 1, which gains 1 attack whenever it survives damage. And eventually it does get a bit big, but at the same time that's not a minion you keep for the entire game. It is also one that falls off. Scab's Cutter Butter. I can never remember what this thing does. Discover a plain copy of a minion from your next opponent's warband. Okay, I'd say probably here. You're paying 2 gold for a minion from your opponent's warband. Actually, no. This could probably go above it because low rolling you could get absolute shit, but high rolling you could get a Tavern 7 minion. You could get a copy of their key minion. Even if it's not a minion that benefits you, then you cycle it for 1 gold. But if it's a minion that you can do something with, then you just gain value from it. Dr. Holiday. 1 mana, get a random tavern spell. I'm going to put this in S tier. I think it's bottom of S tier. Actually, no, I don't think it's bottom of S tier. I think it's here. Swap these 2 around. Maybe put Reform down. But I honestly think, like, the random tavern spell, even if it's a bad one, I mean, that's the thing, is there isn't really a bad... I'm trying to think of a specific example of a tavern spell you wouldn't want to get off of it. But at the same time, there aren't that many, because, like, especially once you get to higher tiers, and, like, you get more options, like, it just opens up how much better this hero can get. I think it's slept... I don't think it's, like, slept on, but I think it's underrated. I think it's, like, a lot of people wouldn't take it because of the RNG, but I think the RNG is strong enough that even if you get like a low roll on it, it can still be good. I mean, like worst case scenario, you literally get a coin. Best case scenario, you get one of the Tavern Sixes isn't the one that just sets the minions to 2020. And even then, the one that sets the minions to 2020 can be fantastic, especially if it's a magnetic. Shudder Walk. Um, here. Triple S tier. Insane. 0 mana trigger a minion's battle cry. Now, we've talked about battle cries a few times because they've sort of nuked some of the balanced battle cries. Probably because of Shudderwalk existing in Battlegrounds. Honestly. But at the same time, there are so many battle cries that like highly benefit from this. Like both Moonbake and Jazza's, the ones I normally use it at least for. Moonbake and Jazza buffs Blood Gems by +1 health, which is ridiculous. The green slime buffs the entire tavern. Like, so every minion for the rest of the game gets +2 health in the tavern, and you can just repeat that over and over. The best example, in my personal opinion, is the tavern. I think it's a 4 Quillbore, and it just puts a blood gem on all your minions. Which is usually if you're playing Quillbores, you want to get Dreamer's Embrace, which is a trinket that just gives you a Dreamer's Embrace every turn. And it multiplicably advances in how strong it can be based on what battle cries you've got. I mean, even in Murlocs, you get some 5, you put a Gurgle down. Every turn you're buffing your entire board by... hold on, does it include itself in its stat buff? Let me see. I mean, look here, Pelmorphin. Discover a Murloc. Discover a Tavern spell. Where is Begurgle? King Begurgle. Where are you, Chief? Yep, give your upper Murlocs. So you're spreading 18/18 of stats across your entire board. For 0 cost. It's ridiculous. It is genuinely just a strong... It's just straight up strong. Like, you don't even need to have one of the highest, like, power level battle cries. You just need a battle cry that is even partially good. And that card, like, basically it's one of those things... I'll put it right at the bottom of this. No, I think that's unfair. These 2 are fan wank. These 3 are fan wank. These 3 are just genuinely good, and even Reno's somewhere in the middle. But Shudderwalk is good based on which battle cries you get, like, so which tribes you're playing. And honestly, like, considering how ridiculously high you can roll this, like, there's no reason for it to be considered bad. Silas Dark Moon E. It's not a good... It's... Okay, so it's not a atrociously bad hero. What it does is it puts tavern tickets onto random minions every time you refresh. And if you get 3 of them, you discover a minion of your tavern tier. But the problem is it can also throw them onto tavern spells. But the main issue is it can throw them onto stuff that just doesn't benefit you. So you have to basically either take it and weaken your board, or waste 3 gold, or just ignore it and ignore the Dark Moon prize, the triple reward, basically. And it's not even a triple reward because it only gives you... It discovers a minion of your tavern. So it's basically like Elise, but you have to spend 9 gold to get it. Syndragosa. Freeze a minion in the tavern for 0 cost, and he gains +2/+1. Now, frozen minions stay. So, basically it buffs a minion that will then be there again next turn. Again, insane for magnetics, insane for a lot of different things. I'm going to put this in B tier, assuming I can grab it. Okay. Get back there. Alright, Sir Finley Murgleton. Where's Nguyen? Because this goes right next to Nguyen. Master Nguyen. I'm going to put it right below Nguyen. So new unit, it changes his hero power every single turn. Like, and you discover it. Whereas Muggleton, you discover a new hero power from the very start of the game. And it can be from any of the 110. I'd say there probably aren't actually 110. Say 100 heroes in the entire Battlegrounds. And you get a choice of 3 out of them. Now, according to this, like, so say everything above C is good. Now, like, everything above C. Now, let's go everything here. So, we've got 7, 10, 15, no, I'm count, 22, 32. So there's 32 so far. So that's 1/3 of all the battle cry, all the starting hero powers, and you get to pick one of them. And there are a lot here that you can still benefit from with it. But at the same time, I'm gonna put this here, and put this here. Yeah. So you just discover a new hero power and that becomes your hero power for the game. It's a wild card because obviously you could get 3 absolute garbage ones, but if you can also high roll with it. Sire Denathrius, probably the highest in SS tier. So at the start of the game, so for a little while in Battlegrounds there were quests, which is like trinkets, except you have to fulfill requirements in order to get certain rewards that act in the same way as trinkets. Now it's hero power, but when quests were in, very similar to how Marin the Manager is specific, and there are 2 other heroes that do this sort of thing too. When quests were in the game, you got 2 throughout the course of the game, but because of Denathrius, you also get a 3rd one. And now, I don't know, I'm pretty sure the quests just give you 8 gold. But even then, 8 gold is still ridiculously strong. Like, there's only one thing in the whole of Battlegrounds that it gives you more gold in one shot than that, and that is, who's a hero that, like, gains, oh, it's Sky Captain Crag. The next one. But yeah, this is ridiculously strong. If quests are in, it's unbelievably broken because it gives you 3 quests instead of 2. If they're not in, it still gives you a quest that is basically a 3rd trinket. Sky Captain Crag. So you start on... So you can press a 0 gold button to gain 1 gold, but it upgrades every turn up to a maximum of 10. And generally what you want to do is wait until it gets to 10 and press the button so you get 10 additional gold. The problem is it takes 10 turns to do that and you could be dead. I'm going to put this here because it's good. Now, this is a reason, one of 2 reasons. There's a minion called Blackwalled Pixie in Hearthstone main. It literally is just a battle cry, refresh your hero power. Right? This minion, if it was in Battlegrounds, would make where have I put him? Sky Captain Crag and Reno absolutely busted. Basically, because it allows you to use the hero power again. When buddies were in, his buddy was literally refresh your hero power. So basically, you could get I wouldn't say 30. You could probably get an extra 20 because of the double. Because even just actually no, that's not entirely true either, is it? 'Cause you could do it so you could get 10, and then press the button to get your buddy and triple it, and then get another 10. So yeah, 20 gold. It gives you 20 additional gold, but that's only with a buddy. On its own, it's just 10 additional gold. Well, it's however much gold you want at the time. Like, you can press it as 6 to tavern again, or whatever. But realistically, it's it's very mid without the buddy. With the buddy, it's insane. Without it, it's still relatively good. Flabidinous Floop. Okay, this is a duos one, so I haven't used it that often. Oh, okay, yeah. Transform into your teammate's highest tier minion. This is quite fun, because you. So when I haven't used this, but Alex has, and usually you wait until. I mean, you could do it any turn. Like if your teammate has a ridiculously huge minion from like. Usually it's a beatboxer. Like And even then, like, some Tavern 7s, but, like, generally Tavern 7s are not as good as a well-set-up beatboxer. I think I'll put this in B. Do I put it in? Yeah, I put it here? Here. Yeah. It's pretty good. It just requires a bit of setup. And, like, the thing is it doesn't require knowledge because you can look at your teammates' board at any point. But it does require your teammate to play in a way that specifically benefits you playing as Floop. Cho and Garl. I believe they both have the same hero power. And it is, whenever you get a triple reward, give one to your opponent as well. Yeah, whenever you play a golden minion, both you and your teammate get a triple reward. And the same with Garl, which is here. I think these are bad. Now, the thing is they're not actually bad. The problem is you only get this effect 3 times. In my opinion, this should be 3 times per. So totaling 6 across the entire game. Like, they're good for... Like, the gimmick of playing them as a duo's heroes is fun. I love the idea of it. But I don't like that it's only 3 times the entire game. Like, there are times when it makes sense, like when we get to Zephyrus, it'll be easier to understand that. But with these, considering it's a concerted effort, like it should, for duos, you should be incentivized to play Cho and Garl. Realistically, if they're available, you should be incentivized to play both together because that's the point. But when it's only 3, it kind of lessens the impact of what you can potentially do with them. It lessens the impact of high rolling. Sneed. What the fuck? Bergmite. Okay. Sneed. So it's a 1 mana, target a minion, and it gives it a death rattle of when it dies, summon a minion from a tavern below. This is not very good. Broadly speaking. I'm going to put this in D tier. The reason being is usually you aren't going to get anything that really benefits you. Like, you can high roll ridiculously with this. When the buddy was in the arena, the buddy was a Tavern 6 minion, so when it died, like, basically you just get the buddy and then you put as many of the hero power on it as you can. And what it would do at that point is it would spit out a bunch of 5-drops when it dies. On the other hand, you put it on a 7-drop, and this is I think it was actually on stream, but somebody had a 7-drop and had a bunch on it, and it spawned a gold, the fucking wolf that gives 4/4s, and a ghast coiler, and the ghast coiler also summoned more wolves. So it just ended up with a lot of buffs, and it was like, really? No thanks. I will snooze that ad. Sylvanas Windrunner. 1 mana hero power, give +2/+1 to every minion that died in the last combat. I don't think this is actually that good. Realistically, it's not atrociously bad because obviously you're buffing a lot of stuff that is probably quite weak. But at the same time, it's like a lot of the hero powers in the lower tiers is that it doesn't scale. Like on turn 2, like assuming your minion died, it will still be given the same amount of buff for dying as it does if you get to Tavern 6 or like on turn 12. It's only ever a +2/+1. It's not really that strong, so I don't think. I love Sylvanas. Sylvanas is, waifu, whatever. But I think her hero power is crap. Her hero power used to be actually better as well. It used to be destroy a minion and give it the 2 minions next to it its stats. So basically it's worse now. Tamsin Roam. This is, I believe it's destroy your lowest health minion and give it stats to everything else. Tamsin Roam. I haven't used her in a while, so... destroy your lowest health minion, give it stats to your other minions. Yeah, so usually you'll do this on a death rattle. Like, that's generally the point of it, is you'll put it on a death rattle that you've manipulated to a point where it is the lowest health minion. Unfortunately, usually if a minion has low health, it's probably not a minion that is going to have enough stats to really validate destroying it for that buff. Unless it's a really good death rattle. I think I put it in the Tavish Stormpike. Choose one of 4 options, and it shoots that minion. So yeah, it starts at 2, and it doubles every 3 turns. So it's very similar to Overlord Salfang, and it either targets the leftmost, rightmost, most health, or lowest health. Unfortunately, this is not good. By the end game, this has fallen off massively and doesn't do anything really. Terran Gorefiend. This is destroy a minion, and when you have space on the board, resummon it, I believe. Yep, summon the exact copy. This is... Where did I put the last hero that destroyed things? Tamsin. Alright, I'm going to put this in... Actually, I'm going to put this in B. Let's put it... here, because you're also getting the minion back. So you can refry the death rattle. There are a lot of pretty good death rattles in Battlegrounds. And it's like you can throw this onto something with a death rattle and trigger that. And even if you don't do it that way, you can just put it on top of... Actually, no, I think death rattle is the only reason you'd ever use Terran Gore. But I think every tribe has at least one minion that you'd really want to throw this on. So, Test Greymane is double S tier. We're putting it... Yeah, actually I'm going to put Patches at the bottom of double S. Tess is the hero that scares the shit out of your opponent and keeps them away from playing the same tribe that you're playing. Because, whereas, what was the one we were talking about earlier? There was a hero I was talking about earlier that does something very similar. Oh, Archfiddle and Reform. Where's Reform? He's in bottom of S. So yeah, like basically what this does is it's a 1 mana refresh of the tavern, but it refreshes with literally just minions that your opponent had. Which, like, obviously is insane. Like, basically if you're playing any tribe, it keeps your opponent off that. Like, really it's more of a scare tactic than anything. It's like psychological warfare. In that, if you want to play mechs, you play mechs, your opponents will not play mechs for fear of giving you free mechs. Like, you still have to pay gold for them, but like, say they've got a big fucking mech, or like they discover their beatboxes on turn 4 or something from the trinket, then you can potentially also have a beatboxer on turn 4 because you're just going to steal their one. This is one of the best risk-reward heroes in the entire Battlegrounds, in my opinion. Like, from this criteria, this is a 10 out of 10 for risk-reward. Because if nobody plays the same tribe as you, then you're focusing on their tribeless minions, which can be fine, usually not good. Like, that's the risk. The reward is somebody else is playing the same tribe, but doing better, and then you just use them as a rubber band mechanic. Like, you take their good shit and use it yourself. And you rubber band yourself ahead of them, because not only are you playing from what you can personally discover, but you're also playing from what they've discovered. The Curator. I'm going to put this just behind this off. The Curator is a passive hero power. It starts with a 2/2 amalgam that has all types, but also has venomous. It used to be poison, but they removed a lot of the poison from Battlegrounds. I think there's only 1 minion that now has true poison, and that's a Tavern 7 minion. So like the odds of seeing it are pretty rare. But because of that all minion types, it means you can buff it with anything that can buff any minion. Including, once again, Magnetics. You can equip Magnetics to it. You can... basically, it's just a perfect minion in that. To the point where there have been a couple of different amalgams in the game. Originally, I think it was after the first update. They added a card called Nightmare Amalgam. It was on Tavern 2. It was just an all types minion that had 3 attack, 4 health. Right? But the thing is the game was literally rushed to Nightmare Amalgam, and if you don't get a Nightmare Amalgam, you're probably going to lose to somebody with a Nightmare Amalgam. And then they took it out because of how strong it was. And then after a little while, they added Amalgadon, which is a Tavern 6 minion. When you play it, it adapts for every minion type you have on the board. So this is one of those cards that you have to play mid-range to acquire. So you'd have to have like 1 mech, 1 beast, 1 undead, blah 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 blah. So they get the maximum amount of effects. But you can also completely mitigate that because of Bran. So on play, say you have a full Murloc board, which is usually the case, because you wanted to have like you wanted it to be a linchpin in Murlocs. So you play it and you only have Murlocs and Bran. Right, on play, immediately it gains 2 different adaptations because of Bran. Right? Now, the other thing about it is if it gets Poison and Divine Shield, immediately you just win from there because that's ridiculously strong combo. If this is why Jandis Barov used to be really good. Because you used to get the Amalgam down, let it get its buffs, trade it into the tavern, and then take it back, like buy it again, play it again, and then it gets even more adaptations. So basically, if you didn't hit Poison and Divine Shield, but you got like Divine Shield Wind Fury or Poison Wind Fury, and then you play it again, you also got, the third of those 3. Like, a lot of the other ones were just like +3 attack, +3 health, +1/1, or 2 plants. The only thing I think you couldn't give it was stealth, I think. But at the same time, like, and then you triple it, which would be it gains 2 different adaptations for every minion type. So and then they removed it because it was very strong. But yeah, having an amalgam off of just Curator on its own is still very, very strong because it's a venomous minion on turn 0, which, like, unless it's a Divine Shield or something that generates a token, you're guaranteed to win turn 1 if you're playing Curator. The optimal situation for it that I've ever found is there was a Tavern 1 Murloc. There was a 2/3 that gives 1/1 to another Murloc on play. You start the game as a Curator, you see that, and then you win because you started with a 3/3 with Poisonous and a 2/3. And 3 health is really not that easy to get rid of on turn 1. Especially not 2 of them. The Great Akazam Zarak, one of my favourites. But not that good. Not anymore. Actually, it's not like it's terrible, it's just interesting. So for 1 mana, you discover a secret. I don't know if it is still discover, or is it you get a random one? Choose a secret. So it's still discover one. Now the holy grail of Akazam Zarak secrets is of course Ice Barrier, which protects you from lethal damage 1 time. The reason this is in A and not any of the S's is because they took away the ability to discover Ice Barrier more than once. You used to be able to discover it more than once, obviously. If it was already in play, you just couldn't. But if it wasn't, then you could just discover it again. But a lot of games were decided on how many times you find Ice Barrier, Ice Block. Nowadays, the secrets are not too bad. You still got to get a Divine Shield and get snakes and get a Poisonous Snake. Ice Block is still in, but you can only discover it once. If you could discover it more than once, it would be among the S's. The Jailer. 1 mana, give a minion 1/1 after 7 minions die upgrades. I think it's that. No, that's the Lich King. There you go. Yeah, after 7 minions die, this upgrades. Excellent in any token build. Unfortunately, it takes a while for that to really be of massive value. It can get there, but it just takes too long. So I put it in C. The Bitch King, as I like to call him. We're going to put him in... How much value does this actually have? I'm thinking it might be higher than S. I know it's not triple S because triple S is basically just meme and fan wanks. I think it goes here. So 0 mana, just give a minion reborn. Reborn is resummon that minion but with 1 health. In Beasts, this is a goddamn ridiculous and undead. So very similar as in off. It's goddamn overpowered as fuck. In Mechs, it's goddamn overpowered as fuck. There are so many things that this just additionally enables. You put it on a death rattle, you're getting that death rattle twice. Because the second time it comes back, it's guaranteed to die due to 1 health. Unless, you know, you already won that round, in which case it won't die again, but, you know. It is genuinely a very strong hero, and it's been in it, I'm pretty sure, since the very beginning. Rat King. I'm going to put this here. So it's 2 mana, discover a minion of a certain tribe, and it swaps every turn. Actually, I'm going to put it at C. I'm going to put it high C instead. Obviously, you're paying 1 less to discover a minion of a specific tier. Problem is it swaps every turn, and unless you're playing like a mid-range, like varied tribe build, it's not that good. Obviously, you can high roll off it, but at the same time, like just that lack of being able to manage the RNG, like or force the RNG to work, is kind of rough. Ticketus is the second of the heroes that are in the Denathrius League. I think I'm going to put it above Denathrius. So, back when Darkmoon prizes were in the game, you got 1 every 3 or 4 turns. I think it might have been 4, considering the hero. Ticketus is the only thing that now gives you Darkmoon prizes, and it does it every 4 turns. You get a random one. Darkmoon prizes had about 5 tiers that increase in effective, like, hold on. That increased in power for each one. So you start with like a tier 1 one, which is either like 2-3 rerolls or beautiful. Like 2-3 rerolls, or get 3 minions on 1, or get 2 coins. And then on 2 you get what is it? It's basically a coin that cycles itself, so you get it back every turn. And then on turns on 6 you got like get a Darkmoon prize from every tier, or fill your hand with bananas. It was ridiculous. Ticketus is the only minion that still gives you Darkmoon prizes. And honestly, it's probably also it would be in fan wank tier, but actually I might just call this fan wank tier. But no, it's genuinely really strong, because like all the Darkmoon prizes are at least partially good. I think there's only like 2 that are just straight up bad. Tyrion Fordring, no longer in Battlegrounds. Hasn't been in Battlegrounds for a long time as well. It was in there from the very start. And all it does is it gives every minion you control without a tribe +1/+1. Now, the reason they haven't brought it back is completely beyond me. But they could bring it back. And my opinion on the way they could bring it back is if it scaled. So for every turn in the game, even if it was just for each tavern. So if you're like on tavern 1, it gives 1/1. But if you're on tavern 6, it gives 6/6 to all your tribalist minions. It could be good. The problem is it's just like it's only just give 1/1 to tribalist minions, which can help, but usually doesn't. Oi. I've been talking for nearly 3 hours, man. Oi. Trade Prince Gallywix. Now this is... Hold on, let me see. What does it do now? Because it used to be whenever you sell a minion, get 1 gold next turn. Yep. Still that. So this used to be really good. Again. Specifically, a lot of my elemental wins came from Trade Prince Gallywix. Because you'd be cycling so many minions every turn that you'd... Like, there were times where I started with 30 or 40 gold. just because of the sheer number of elementals and tavern tempests I've bought. Hold on, I need to blow my nose again. One sec. Right. It's also pretty good in Murlocs, but not as good. If you can generate Murlocs, it's good. Like if you've got Primal Fins and you can continuously proc its battle cry, or Tads. Tad and Primal Fin used to be like a Dujin pairing, in that like for some reason Primal Fin would always offer you a Tad, and then if you were on Tavern 5 or higher, Tad would like a lot of the times give you a Primal Fin. And we used to think there was a bug in the coding. There's a number of times Tad discovered a Primal Fin, like randomly gave you a Primal Fin. It is fucking ridiculous. Alright, Varden Dawngrasp. This is one of those heroes that it's on my list because I still haven't come first place with him. And I feel bad about this because his hero power has the potential to be really good. So, what he does is on every single refresh, it takes the highest tier minion in the tavern, freezes it, and generates a second copy of it. Which is excellent. The problem is it's a slow fucking animation. So your turns end up taking way longer because usually, even if the tavern above, like the highest tavern minion is good, like the animation to do it takes so long that you can potentially run out of time before doing stuff. It's good in a lot of situations where you want to triple, like Patient Scout is something that if I see it get that, then I'll just leave the Patient Scout because it'll get copied again next turn. But unfortunately, I haven't won with it, and I can't seem to ever find. It's like who was the hero I was talking about earlier? It's another one of those heroes though where like it's Courier Rowan. That's it. It's another one of those heroes where I always come really close to winning with Varden, and then I never and then I somehow manage to fudge it up at some point, and I end up not winning. And he's been on my list since how long has Varden been in Battlegrounds? It's a while. It definitely wasn't in there when it started. It's definitely recent. But yeah, I've never managed to come first with him. Vol'jin, 0 mana, pick 2 minions, they gain each other's attack for this turn. Very mid. The definition of mid. I don't think it's very good. Like, the stat buff is fine, especially because it's 2 minions gaining stats. But at the same time, it's attack. I've never really... It's also on my list. I haven't ever found a way to really win with him consistently. Zyrella, S tier. Actually, you know what? I'm putting her in triple S tier. She's like the counterpart to my boy Diraxus. Her hero power is 2 mana. Take a minion from the tavern. Set its stats to 2/2. Most of the time, buying a minion with its hero power is not going to be a detriment. Like, setting the stats to 2/2 is not going to be a detriment most of the time. Obviously, Magnetics, Mex is sort of where I've mostly used this. And it's one of those things where, like, there's a lot of good use case scenario. Like, if you have 3 gold, there's nothing that's having you can roll and steal a minion with it. It has potential. And I'm putting it in fan wank tier because I really do enjoy playing Zyrella. It's always just on the cusp of being a really strong hero, but it's like just only very slightly not good enough. Yogg-Saron, Hope's End. So this is 2 mana, steal a random minion from the tavern, give it +1/+1. This is, I'll say B tier. You can slightly manipulate the RNG by buying as many of the other tavern minions as you want, and then hoping. RNG is hit and miss though. The 1/1 buff doesn't mean anything most of the time. It's pretty good. It's just like, again, it's one of those heroes where it's quite good, but it's not good enough. Ysera, the Dreamer. So this is passive. Every time you refresh the tavern, it adds a random dragon. Where is Alex Strasser? Because this goes right next to Alex Strasser. There you are. I think it's only slightly worse than Alex Strasser, because Alex Strasser discovers one, whereas this is random. This can obviously proc 10 times a turn, and you can roll into absolutely no dragons that are of any use to you. Whereas Alex Strasser, you press the button once, you could roll 3 dragons that aren't any good to you. But dragons have a specific set of minions that are good value to get. I think we outlined earlier, like the Tavern 1 minion's not particularly good. Except for the upfront Drake, which is every 3 turns get a random dragon, but realistically that's not particularly good. Tavern 2 has the Twilight Emissary, which is the taunt buff. Blazing Skyfin isn't too bad, because battle cries are sort of a big deal for dragons. Tavern 3 has Rallia Taragosa, which Taragosa is your goal. When you're playing over these 2 heroes, you're literally setting out to play Taragosa build and fuck all else. If you're playing anything else, you're just doing it wrong, basically. That's my opinion on this. I will die on this hill. It's a shit opinion, but at least I'm dead. But dragons, if you're playing dragons, Taragosa is what you're building for. Because it's just like, it's arguably one of the potentially strongest minions in all the Battlegrounds. If you can get even a slightly half good setup on it, it's just insane. It's like how Gold Grubber used to be. Gold Grubber is a Tavern 4 pirate that starts as a 4/4, and he gains +2/+2 for every other golden minion you control, and obviously +4/+4 when it itself is golden. That includes itself. And I don't know why they took it out. It's not really that good of a card, except I've got a clip somewhere from a very, very old stream where I was playing with Alex. Oh no, it was a recording. I wasn't streaming. It was, I recorded it. And I had 2 golden gold grubbers and a non-golden gold grubber. And I think I still came like 1st or 2nd place. It was a good fucking game. Yasharaj Defiler. I was talking about Scabs earlier. Yasharaj goes here. No, that's not. It's Ozomat I was talking about earlier. So, for 2 mana, I believe. Yep, at the start of combat, you summon a minion from your tavern and get a copy of it added to your hand. Obviously, lower tiers, not particularly good. You're basically cycling 2 gold for 1 gold if you get crap. But if you get like a good minion, like realistically, you want to get to Tavern 6 and then be using this, which is a hefty investment. So, actually, I think its placement is about right. Yeah, I think that's probably its placement. The main downside of it is you have to only ever play with 6 minions, which also hurts a little bit because, like, you're in a position where the minion you summon could be crap or have no synergy. On the other hand, it could be broken. So, Zephyrus the Elite is an A tier hero. 3 times per game for the cost of, I believe it's 3 mana. Zephyrus the Elite, why do I keep calling it that? Zephyrus the Great. 3 times per game for 3 mana. If you've got 2 minions, Zephyrus will give you the triple. Basically, that's all it does. It costs you, it's basically you're paying 3 gold to just find and buy the 3rd copy of any minion, which is really, really strong. Right, Marin the Manager, which is the newest one. It goes here, because it's the newest one. So Marin the Manager, so right now in Battlegrounds you get a lesser trinket on turn 5 and a greater trinket on turn 8. If your hero is Marin on turn 4, you get a second lesser trinket. That's obviously ridiculous. Do I put this above Ticketus? I guess I put Marin above Ticketus because trinkets are currently in. If Dark Moon prizes were currently in, this would be higher, and if quests were in, this would also be higher. But being able to have 3 trinkets can ridiculously tilt the value of the game, the quality of the game. And that's why we call him Easy Clap Marin, because right now, if you get like 3 above average decent trinkets, you can't lose. Like, obviously there's a high roll potential where you get like the 3 most broken trinkets in the whole thing and you just instantly win. But you can also low roll and get 3 that are just like gain gold. And even that isn't that bad, like, because there's I think it's a lesser trinket that you gain 1 extra gold. You gain 1 additional gold every turn. Alright, Easy Clap Thorim. God, I hate this card. I'm going to put this here. At the start of the game, passive, discover a Tavern 7 minion. After you spend 70 gold, you get that minion. I think I worked out before, generally speaking, as long as you're not dead, you get that Tavern 7 minion by turn 6, roughly, depending on how well you're playing. It's also the reason I'm pretty sure they took out free dealing boot wheeler or whatever the fuck it is. Tavern 2 minion, buy it, sell it for 3 gold. Yeah, basically what you do with this is you discover your Tavern 7 and you build your board around it, unless it's a crap Tavern 7. Boomobile, insane. The elemental one is crap. Morgul is different, of questionable value. Yeah, it's easy to high roll with this basically, because like this belongs in this same sort of set, because for a little while Tavern 7 was in the game, and when they took Tavern 7 out, this is now the only thing that can directly generate Tavern 7 minions, in the same way as this is the only thing that can generate quests, and this is the only thing that can generate Dark Moon prizes. Wow, this game soundtrack is actually quite a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. Let me, how long's left? 7 minutes. I'll put this on. Alright. The Nameless one. Passive hero power, duos only. Nameless one, all it does is it copies your teammate's hero power. I'm putting this in fan wank tier because I love this. Like, this is literally a... If you're playing with a random, this is garbage. If you're playing with a friend who you can guide to a good hero, this is like, you could high roll. Like, if you get anything from the S and above tiers, this is just, I mean, besides the 2 Naga ones, this is broken. Because you're getting all the value your teammate is getting. Tathalan Bloodwatcher, after you buy 3 Tavern spells, your next Tavern spell costs 0, it's garbage. It's literally garbage. It's the same as what happened with Kael'thas, except it's for Tavern spells. Oh, I didn't size these right at all. So you're probably noticing that some of these are slightly differently formatted than others, and it's because these came from the wiki. These ones had to come from there, because they didn't exist at the time that wiki shut down. Snake Eyes. I'm going to put this in high S. So for 1 mana you roll a dice and you gain that much. For 1 gold you roll a dice and you get that much gold. And then it takes that many turns for it to refresh. Right, so obviously you're always looking for 6s. In the early, but the thing is you spend 1 gold. The worst case scenario is you get that 1 gold back immediately. And basically nothing happens except you can't use that hero power again for 1 whole turn. When it comes to the late game, getting low rolls is not good. Getting high rolls is ridiculous. Like, 1 high roll can really, like, push you from not being in a good position to literally being in a winning position. I need to... Oh, Madame Goya is 2 mana past a minion. I believe. Madame Goya. It's a duos hero. Yeah, passing on golden minion. Right, so in duos, you can pass minions for the cost of 1 gold. There is a tavern spell that allows you to pass a minion as well. And also there is a Pandaren that allows you to pass a minion in your hand for no cost. This allows you to pass a minion from the tavern for 2. This is a support card. This is a support hero. I'm going to put it in A because I like the fact that there is a support hero for Battlegrounds, especially for the sake of the fact that duos is a team-based thing. Like, if you're playing duos, then you're playing in a way that where you do want to be supporting your teammate, and having this specific hero power is supporting your teammate, basically, in the best possible way. Finally, Diablo, again, we don't know what tier. I'm just going to make a new tier under here, because I don't know where to put it. Let me... Uh-oh. Add a row below, and it needs to be this. What am I doing? This? What's just happened? What happened? So this one. Diablo. I don't remember anything about Diablo. I played Battlegrounds while it was available. And I remember it being annoying. I think it's every 4 turns, like everybody plays against him. I can't remember how damage works. I know that if you beat him, you get a reward for beating him. But yeah, that's basically the whole tier list. Fuck, I can't believe we actually made it in only 3 hours. Not bad. And I mean, this isn't even like super in depth. I could probably go further in depth, but like I need video footage for all that. I can probably, if I was going to do this more professionally in future, I'd definitely be using the spreadsheet I made. I didn't do that for this. In the end, I just went with ranking them off gut feeling. Maybe I'll fill this out later on, or probably tomorrow at this point, just so I can provide an idea of what's good, or why. I sort of used my guide to an extent. Like this was the most useful thing. This actually took me 2 days to figure out, and I only had like 3 of them for the first day. Because obviously when you're ranking stuff like this, you want to be trying to rank them as objectively as possible, because otherwise people just jump down your throat for every opinion. The only tier where things are definitely not guaranteed to be these tiers is this, and that's mainly because this is a fan rank tier. And that's because these are good heroes that I've had a lot of... These are the heroes I have most fun playing, or that I've got a lot of wins with, or that I can see a value in them being as good as I rate them to be. But we're going to play one more track, and then we're going to raid out, because I want to play this one. It's going to be loud. So, thank you for watching this. Jeez. Yeah, I'm going to have to get some fresh air and drink some water and shit, because holy fuck, I don't know what was wrong with me earlier. It's not like, I don't think I'm ill. It might just be from having been talking for like, at that point, 2 hours straight, and it's not something I'm particularly used to. But we're going to listen to a piece of music now from the Season 4 soundtrack of the finals, and then we're going to raid. So thank you for joining. Oh. New second best piece of music in all of the finals. Okay. Right, we're gonna go raid Ems. He's playing God of War Ragnarok. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I hope you enjoyed listening to me fucking rattle on for 3 hours about heroes in Battlegrounds. So I'll be sharing it to Twitter, and I'll put a link to this VOD for anybody who wants the reasoning behind any of my choices. Otherwise, I don't know when I'm going to be back. Willing to admit that much. But thank you very much for joining. Have a good evening, and